Just a bloke in a bar.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Bloke in a Bar, brought to you by Bloke in a Bar, the smoothest, crispest, easiest drinking lager in the world. Also, by the time you see this, these may or may not be sold out. If they aren't sold out, go to bloke.shop, grab a Bloke hoodie. We got Bloke beanies. We got Bloke stubby coolers that we don't have here right now. We've also got Bloke hats. We've got the classic brown Bloke shirts restocking as well. So make sure to go to bloke.shop. But I've got the great Tom and Eddy, Eddy and Tom of Hello Sport fame here. How you going, boys?
Darren?
Good, mate.
Fantastic.
Really good.
Do you think that this is the happiest you've ever been on a Tuesday?
I mean,
Drowning in Aussie gold, drowning in famous wins, sure.
yeah, it might be. It's certainly
Pretty
going
fucking close.
Tommy Turbo fucking just ripping and a tearing.
Maybe the Tuesday after 2008, 2011, pretty good.
Yeah, but on this show, I think.
But on this show, I reckon
Yeah.
probably New South Wales lifting the shield.
This
Like,
is-
things like
yeah,
that. There's been plenty of great Tuesdays,
Yeah.
but this is pretty good.
Yeah, this is up there with one of the great Tuesdays all time.
Yeah.
But
I think so.
But it's also like less than 20 hours after one of the greatest fullback performances of all time.
Yeah. We told you.
But the problem
We told
is,
ya.
the problem
Fellas,
is that
listen.
like we're fucking.
now.
How many times have we sat here on a Tuesday and had to sit through basically just? Was that the greatest fullback performance of all time from Tom Trbojevic? Like, it's happened like 6 times already. So I'm sort of trying to work out like.
It's like Groundhog Day.
Am I
Every week we
spoiled?
come in and we have to talk about how good Tommy is.
Yeah.
It's like we were fucking telling you that when he
yeah.
wasn't playing, he was worth 40 points. Oh, bullshit.
Are you almost like, it's like a burden that you guys have that you are forced to come in and you actually don't want to talk about how great he is?
I mean, I'm happy to talk about it if it comes up in conversation. Yeah, like I mean, I wouldn't not talk about it.
Why would I not talk about it?
Oh, I didn't say you wouldn't. I'm just asking, is it on a kind of a burden? Like you don't like to brag, you know?
Tom and I consider him a son almost. So,
Yeah.
you know, people tend to gloat. Parents tend to gloat.
Yeah,
over
yeah,
their
we're
children.
proud parents. We're actually the 5th and 6th Trbojevic brothers.
So your parents and brother at the same time.
Well, look, we're a little bit
Father,
older
Son,
than him,
Holy
so
Ghost.
we've played a sort of a leadership role. I think it's fair to say
In
his
the
life.
family.
Guidance of sorts. Obviously, we sit below John and we know our place.
Yeah.
but yeah, 5th and 6th brothers unofficially has been thrown around. They're not our words either.
No, that's
So that's
their
been thrown
words.
about by
That's
the
come from the
Trbojevic.
family.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, sweet.
That's come from the
Wow, that's news. That's breaking
Well,
news.
there's actually a photo doing the rounds of us and the whole fucking family together. I think actually.
Well, that's you playing just right there.
Well,
there's that
there
one,
is.
but there's one
at
in
Manly
Manly
Leagues.
Leagues.
Yeah, obviously. The time we're invited to the club by the club
By the
to
club.
do a lap of honour. That evening, we actually, and this is all no bullshit.
I'll find that photo.
We got a photo with John and the boys, which was great.
It's ridiculous.
Do you think that?
But also, like, you know, people ask, why did I give my hamstring to Tommy? Because he's family.
Yeah. That's the sort of thing you do for family.
So you remember that night that you went out there and did a performance per se for Manly?
Yeah, a live show.
Was that
Critically acclaimed.
Chairman's Lounge.
Well, I was going to ask you, like Trbojevic have a tendency to put in huge performances. Was that of the same ilk as Tom Trbojevic?
The reason it was as big a performance as anything that a Trbojevic has done on the rugby league field is because we couldn't have been more unprepared and not out of our depth, Eddie, but thrown into a situation with which we should not have been. You know what I mean? And we just ripped and teared. Not a laugh the whole time. I don't think we tried to whip out all of our best.
But it's like we were the nut trucker essentially on that night. We get in there and we do the tough fucking work.
No one under 100, no one under 40 years old, a lot of people closer to 100 years old in there. Don't know if they knew what podcasting was, let alone had they heard.
You know what it was? It was 30 hit-ups, 50 tackles.
Yeah. And then
No
an injury.
errors.
And then an injury.
That's what it was.
An injury, did you
An
say?
injury at the end of it. You get through it and then you're injured and then...
Okay. So would you say you're the nut trucker of the Trbojevic family? They get the glory, you're the nut trucker.
No, I wouldn't say that.
They give us glory. I think that, you know, within the confines of the Trbojevic household, with which we've been for dinners many times, we get our dues then, I think. Yeah.
Look, we go over and Tom and I usually bring some beautifully fresh tomatoes. Obviously, they've got tomato farming history, Trbojeviches. Part of the
long line of tomato farms.
little known fact, they're all part of the Tomato Farmers Union, very powerful lobbyist group. That's neither here nor there. But we go over and we enjoy some red, and we drink some pasta, and we
Drink some pasta.
Drink some
eat some pasta, and we spin old yarns. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, it's a good night if you're drinking
And we
pasta.
motivate each other to be great.
Yeah.
I think that's, probably That's the brass tacks, basically. At the end of the day, we just motivate each other to be great.
And so
here we are.
Are you Tom Jr. or is he Tom Jr.?
It's a great question. He is Tom Jr. He just is because I'm older. You know,
He's
what I
Tom
mean?
Senior.
I'm Tom Senior more than he's Tom Jr. He's Tom and I'm just Tom Senior.
So actually, so yeah, he's not the junior. You're just called Tom
I'm just
Senior.
Tom
Yes.
Senior. Yeah. Or they call me Senior.
Or Senor.
Senior. Yeah.
Senora. Now, on to huge news. I mean, this was the news that I really wanted to get to with you guys because we've had some big events happen over the last 7 days. Some big events, obviously the Olympics, but none bigger than Rohan and the controversy, if you will. Now, maybe I'm calling a controversy, no one else is, but there was actually quite a drama, quite a stir last week. Rohan actually tweeted out, and that's Rohan Browning of 100-metre fame, of the third fastest Australian in history.
Yeah.
Of mullet fame, of
Third
nation on his
fastest?
back. Yes, the third. He's the third fastest in history, mate.
Second fastest. Patrick Johnson, then him, I think.
I think Shervo.
Shervo ran 10.03, but that's
Matt,
all right.
how about this, Matt? Instead of sitting there like this, looking at me, get on your little Googles and Google, where is he in the pecking order?
He's second.
You think he's second?
He's second. I know
He's
second.
fastest runner at an Olympics, though.
Shervo did 10.03.
Okay.
Rowan
Eddie
did 10.01.
fancies himself as a bit of a, like, sprint, not sprinter, but sprint facts, I think. That's
Okay.
fair.
Oh, but before the Olympics, he was a third.
Yeah.
And then he was a second with the PB at the Olympics with the 10.01.
I thought we were talking about now, as in,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, I'm not correcting you.
Currently.
I'm just correcting my own error.
I thought you may be talking about last week or something, like before he ran.
Oh, okay. No, I'm talking about right now because
Oh.
the controversy that we wanted to talk about before we were sidetracked. Maybe by you. I'm not sure which one.
Well, I'm just keeping you accountable, mate.
Yeah. No, it's good. I
You
like
know,
it.
a lot
I
of
like
people listen, you're fucking spewing out nonsense.
So Rohan has actually gone to Twitter and said, "Can someone from World Athletics update my profile cover shot, please? Don't want to draw any Shervo comparisons." Now, we're going to put the picture up on the screen of the past picture that was there. Is that the most controversial part of the Olympics, the fact that this poor bloke has had to draw comparisons to one of the greats in Shervo when it comes to lunch boxes?
Yeah. Look, I think Rohan, is it?
I like to say Rohan because I like Lord of the Rings.
Rohan or Ronan?
Rowan.
Rowan. Like rowing a boat.
I think it's like rowing a boat.
Yeah, Rowan sounds more Australian than
I think
Rohan.
it's more Australian.
Rohan
like, it's not
sounds a
Rohan
little
of,
bit-
you know, son
Riders
of
of
bloody
Rohan.
Azalea. Like,
Yeah,
whoa.
yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Calm down.
I mean, it's a tough start for me. I feel like there's a lot of negative energy over there.
So rowing a boat.
Yeah?
I'm happy with Rowan's decision here because whilst, you know, we're all for embrace whatever package you have, you got to make do with what you got.
All packages matter.
All packages matter, and look, all things great and small. I think that's a saying, or I don't know. But
believe so, yeah.
Listen, who the fuck wants to be compared to Matt Shervington? That dick still holds up today, right? Like, you saw that thing as a like 11, 12-year-old, and you're like, Jesus Christ, that's big. And you're like, oh no, it was big no matter who you were.
Mate, it rewrote the textbook, that package. It did. It ripped it up and it rewrote the fucking thing.
It was timeless.
It's a timeless package. It's one of the great packages of all time.
It's an ode to Australian exceptionalism of the 2000s.
course it
You know what I
is.
mean? Like, it's just you could put that thing up on a fucking on like a trophy in a trophy cabinet, or maybe even a statue of it, like at its full extension, like as it bounces.
Mate, I'm pretty sure International Athletics came out saying on the record that they've given him an honorary sub-10 time just because fucking .03, like, that's lunchbox induced.
Yeah,
He would have broken 10 seconds in a pinch.
Yeah, I think so.
I reckon that's hard. I honestly reckon that's a 0.1 package.
Yeah, because also you got to think about.
That's a 993 thereabouts.
Yeah. You know what?
Fair enough.
I think that's fair.
That's fair. Why didn't they strap it down? Like, why wouldn't they have gone to greater lengths? Obviously, it's box office, right? You want to come watch this thing bounce.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But like,
Was he single when he ran?
it's a great point, Eddie.
I tell you what.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you've got a box office hog and you're single,
Yeah.
like, fucking hell, open the doors, get people into the theatre.
No,
you know?
I'm not taping this down. But you might win Olympic gold if you tape it down. I'm not taping it down. I'm single. Let this thing.
So you reckon that it was his love life and the keenness to get amongst it that actually robbed him of a sub-9?
Well,
sub-10?
I'm just saying, like, Matt Shervington, one of the greatest sprinters we've ever had, like he was a competitor, right? And surely if he's looking to, scrape time where he can, improve his performance, he's got to tape that thing down. It's fucking massive. And he didn't. Ever, because if you go to photos of him, it's like
I don't think he was wearing undies, right? Like it was
he's
just
wearing something different in every video, in every photo.
He was just free-balling the fucking whole time. Like the thing was in danger of falling out the bottom of the leg of the running suit every time.
And it's like bang from left thigh to right thigh to left.
I wonder
thigh.
if that would hurt. Right?
I think
like,
so.
I sometimes will sit down the wrong way and a nut gets caught somewhere, and you're like, this will put me out for an hour.
How many a bloke do you think that as he walked out to the track were going, fuck that, and put him off their game?
Well, that might be part of it.
That's also true. Like you could trip someone up.
It's intimidating.
Fucking hell, when a box office hit like that walks out,
Yeah.
you're either watching it or you're scared of it.
Mate, you're trying to set your blocks and this fucking huge
Box office hog.
this box office hog's hanging over your shoulder. Like,
It's got its own blocks to set off.
I know. Yeah. Little known fact, he had to have 2 sets of blocks. Or a third block.
A third block.
In the middle. That his junk rested on.
Yeah.
So he had to actually, the reason why he didn't break 10 is because he didn't have his own custom-made block to rest the hog on.
Possibly. Well, I think he didn't break 10 because he didn't tape it down. He let it fly. Now, he also had a block for it, but that was like the IOC signed off on that.
Look, history tells us, or teaches us a very important lesson, I think. It's that, Matt Shervington, as great as he was, he didn't make an Olympic final and he didn't break 10 seconds. And had he tied the hog down, I think he achieved both those things. Where am I getting at? I think,
do you have to break a hog like that in?
Fucking oath, you got to break it.
You got to break it in. Like you can't just wrangle a hog like that, right? That's you got to get someone in to sort of whisper.
A cock whisperer. Like I mentioned a few weeks ago.
Yes, exactly. Like you got to get someone in there who's been around hogs.
Doesn't Tommy have a cock whisperer?
Well, he's got a hammy whisperer.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, he could. I'm sure he might have a cock whisperer.
Look, after the other night performance, I think he's in the Shervo territory, surely, because you don't put performances on like that.
Well, I mean, I'd love for the NRL to allow the players to wear tights and just see what they're all working with. You know what I mean? Like, let us know.
That's one of the great things about the 100-meter sprints is that they're all tight, and you get a real insight into the man. I think
when those cameras are panning along like everyone in the race, if you're telling me that you aren't just fucking looking at the dicks,
I don't even know why they bother.
No,
it should just be a midsection.
Yeah, exactly.
Gooch pan. Fuck the faces. We don't need to see that.
We don't care.
Who cares? I'm looking at the dick the whole time. We all are.
Everyone
was yipping and yahooing having the time of her life. I think it's natural.
Yeah, it is what it is. It's a human instinct.
I mean, it's such an alpha move. You're in the world stage and you're walking out with your hog ready to go for everyone, and you're also the peak of an athlete's body and everything.
Well, it's an alpha sport with an alpha hog.
Yeah.
Doing alpha things.
And it's very showy, the 100 metres. They've all got the chains on and the sunnies, and it's a real thing.
I don't understand with the women's why they, like the fucking hair. They've got hair out of control. Surely that slows you down.
Yeah, and even the blokes, I saw one dude, I think it's called a Patek or something like that, and it's like this green watch that's like 100,000 or some crazy. Blokes
like the
running
one Nadal wears?
Yeah, I think they are.
Yeah, I think they're similar. They're the cool thing right now. But blokes are literally running out big gold chains. Like, surely,
there's a guy swimming in a fucking necklace.
I saw that. I couldn't get over that.
We're like, he's swimming in a big cross necklace. We're like, bro, that is going to drag like a motherfucker.
When they put so much time and effort into making sure there isn't a hair out of place, an old mate jumps in with a big chain around his neck.
Waxing every part of your body, and then you got a necklace.
That's what I like about the athletics, a bit looser.
I like the swag of it all.
It's cool.
I'm an athletics man.
Oh, yeah, fucking oath. So am I. Love it.
It's been great to see that you finally got into the Olympics over the last week.
Yeah, look, I mean, you ran with it. And we knew the cheap shot was coming.
Well, sometimes you just need a stern talking to.
Yeah, that's all right. Dribblers who keep tagging us in your post. Go, you like the Olympics now, do you?
It's crazy. It's like the internet is such a beautiful place. A bunch of internet dribblers are putting shit on a guy that actually has won a national championship in athletics.
Oh, are you a natty champ?
Yeah, bruh.
For what?
800 metres.
800?
Dude,
you must be a Peter Bowl fan.
State champ for 100, 200, 400, 800 cross country.
Fuck. And you don't like the Olympics?
It's crazy, eh?
Dude,
But I just, like,
Peter
you know,
Bolt.
it is funny though that the amount of blokes that, like, some actually believed it. Like, so obviously,
Dude, some
a
people
lot of
think
them were
Josh
taking the piss.
Schuster's blind. You know what I mean? Like,
crazy.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Mate, it's like one of the most searched terms on Google.
It's fucking
Is
incredible.
Josh Schuster blind?
we still get DMs about Josh Schuster being blind.
Is he actually
legitimately.
blind?
People are legitimate. You're like,
This
what
guy
are we
goes,
talking
This
about?
guy goes, bro, I just fucking got all of my mates to believe it. And now and then I think obviously on one of the podcasts has heard that we were obviously Josh isn't blind. Well, haven't had him tested, but I'm pretty sure he can see.
Well, he hasn't come out and confirmed, nor has he
hasn't
denied.
denied it. But the fact that there are people that are just taking what we say on face value is ridiculous. Look,
Speaking
I think
of,
it's highly unlikely, but you never know.
well, he hasn't denied it. So until he denies it, we can't really confirm for the punter or the dribbler whether he is or isn't.
No, he hasn't.
No.
As you said, we have to hold people accountable.
Yeah.
And give the truth to such a broad base of listeners.
Yes.
And if he's not going to deny it, then there's nothing we can do about
No,
that.
he's blind.
He just appears to be blind. Based on
the fact he doesn't look where he's passing.
Yeah.
And so speaking of the swimming, actually, the girls carrying Australia.
Golden Girls.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Have
dude.
you heard of the term Golden Girls?
I just did, and I heard it before, but I heard it just then as well. Before you said that,
We
I just
use
said
it all the
say that.
time.
Yeah.
Because our women are so golden.
They are. But just not
Without
even just
the
in the
women,
pool.
we'd be fucked.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's a fair statement.
Yeah.
Because we were doing still knocks and shit last fucking Olympics.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
we were
still
up.
knocks and fucking-
The boys were up on fucking doing the whole apology tour.
Yeah.
Last time, and don't get me, I love me some ripping and a tearing.
Hey, listen, ripping and a tearing.
we love that shit. But the girls have just come out and whipped their metaphorical hog on the table and
Yeah.
said, "This is what I'm working with."
Well, sometimes Aussie blokes too preoccupied ripping and tearing
Yeah.
than focusing on the job at
job at
hand.
hand.
Women, at least Aussie women, they're far more structured than
Yeah,
that.
get the job done, get Aussie
Yeah.
gold,
Yeah.
and get the fuck out.
They're gold first operators.
Ariane,
that's
Tim-
what you're saying.
Tim is
They
already
are.
back in Australia. That's how methodical she is. Give me gold, get me the fuck out of here. I'm out. Bounce.
Emma McKeon, literally the greatest Olympian of all time, at least in swimming. So
Australian Olympian.
Australian
Yeah,
Olympian.
so, well, she actually
Phelps,
she equaled.
Phelps is significantly ahead.
Actually, she equaled women all over the.
Yeah, I was trying to-
Yeah.
So, she's the best woman, yes.
Yes, yes.
The greatest woman Olympian ever.
I think she equaled. Can you please Google that? Matt?
I think she's second only to Phelps, who's like a statistical freak.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
crazy. But women, I actually think she equaled the record for most ever medals at an Olympics.
Mate, she's gone past Thorpe, she's gone past Dawn, she's gone past Liesl Jones.
Absolutely incredible.
Kick rocks, losers.
You
Absolutely.
know what I
incredible.
mean?
With great
She's a
respect.
beast.
But like, what I think is really cool is like when we say like Thorpe, Dawn Fraser, all those people, they are such like idols to us. But we're witnessing someone doing bigger
Better,
numbers,
yeah,
and
yeah.
we're here. You know what I mean? It's great. Like we're in the moment. What you got, Matt?
So she's tied it, but it was a record set back in 1952.
Ooh, fuck. So can you please read the record out?
Well, that's the record. Like she's got the same amount of medals as
Okay, so read out.
a gymnast, Maria.
Fuck, honestly.
How
I
many
don't know.
medals she got, Maddie?
14. I
And
just made it up.
so what record did she equal?
The most medals from a female.
Okay, and who had the record?
Gymnast, Maria Goro Josea.
How many golds did Maria have?
I have
No,
not
I haven't got it.
that far yet.
Okay, so
Because gold is the metric.
Yeah, gold is the
Gold's
metric.
number. Like the
Absolutely.
Yanks. Did you see what they were doing?
well, they're trying to.
They were going, oh,
That's it.
okay, so like
Medals
we've won
total.
more medals than China, but or Japan, I think at the time, but Japan had more gold,
Well, they just
which
put-
is
yeah,
the number.
they
And so
put
they were like,
themselves at the
we're
top of the
winning.
medal
It's
tally.
like, but you're not.
Yeah, it's
You're not
golds. Golds is where you
Yeah.
got. I mean, I think golds. You could even. They've got to get some stats together that say like golds are worth like 3 bronzes or something. You know what I mean? That would be a good
Yeah, yeah,
metric. If you could say like a gold is worth 5 bronzes or whatever, and then you could like balance
Certainly
out
worth
who
5
actually
bronzes.
who
I
really
sort
won
of
the
like
Olympics.
how they do it now.
Yeah,
Gold.
they do. So they do that now. Just
That's
gold.
just gold.
Golds,
That's the
baby.
leaderboard.
And then the silvers and bronze are the tiebreaker.
Thoughts on this per capita? Because New Zealand kill that, but we also kill that. Do you think per capita is something you should throw in?
Well,
This is- Eddie's actually got
funnily
something on
enough,
this.
I'm not going to do this YouTube video any justice whatsoever, but I'll do my best. So obviously we know that countries like China, like America, Soviet Union, well not Soviet Union anymore, Russia, way too big, right? For the smaller countries like New Zealand, like Australia to compete fairly. But per capita also isn't fair to the big countries because I think like if someone with a very small population jags a goal, then China's got to go out and win like 2,000 of them. There's not enough events.
Okay, yep.
So some math wizard came up with this system whereby everything was ranked using math and fucking models and all this shit. Look, Matty, I'll send you the link and you can put it up.
You're a
Have
stats
watch.
man.
Anyway, this is where he gets to, right? If weighted correctly, if weighted fairly, with a combination of like per capita and population and all that shit, since the year 2000, guess who's the number one summer nation on the planet? Have a guess.
Australia or New Zealand?
Australia, baby.
Yes. Thank you, girls. Thanks, girls.
Thank you so much, girls. Our golden girls.
And if you give a shit about the Winter Olympics, it's Norway. But we're not here for Norway, and we're not here for the winter. We're here for the summer.
Winter
we're
Olympics
the
is
best.
lame.
We've always known that, though. Like, Tom and I were talking about this. I've always deep down, at my very core, known we were the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
We
I felt
just
that
needed
too.
someone to work it out.
Someone to prove.
someone to prove it with
Yeah.
math,
Yeah,
which is what we...
absolutely.
Was he Australian? I didn't even ask.
I
that.
don't think so.
Oh, good.
Because it surprised him, he said. And if he was Australian, it wouldn't have surprised him. So
That's true. That is fucking true.
It's a great point.
Every Aussie knows that we're the best.
Yeah.
fucking oath. And now it's proof.
It is proved.
That was proof.
What you got there, Matt?
So she doesn't have the most medals, but she's got the most medals for a female in a single Olympics. So 7. But the person she beat only won 2 golds, whereas she won 4.
So she's the best.
So she's the best.
Okay. So the person she beat, what do you mean by the person she beat?
So the person she beat got 7 medals in 1952 Olympics.
That
Okay, so
Maria
the
chick.
gymnast. Okay.
gymnast, yeah.
And so she won, so Emma won more golds.
More golds. Same
Yeah.
amount of medals, but more golds.
Oh,
Well, there you
fuck.
go. No, that's Emerald.
Gold's the number.
Yeah, that's number 1. That's easy break. That's an
Yeah.
easy break. So Emma, I mean, statues in every state.
Yep, I'm cool with that.
Statue in every
Well,
state.
the Emma McKeon pool is going to be. Yeah, where's she growing up? I mean, I'm sure they're probably already broken ground on an Emma McKeon 50-meter Olympic-sized swimming pool.
If 100%. If there isn't a statue out the front of every pool in the nation, there should be. And if that's a
Or
bit
at least-
expensive, at least a banner.
I think we asked for this at one point.
Cardboard
Eddie,
cutout.
whether it can be written into sort of government law, but just that any pool built from here on in, and I'm talking backyard pools, you have to erect an Emma McKeon plaque and basically have it in your home pool.
I back that.
You know what I mean?
I back
Pay
that.
some fucking respects to the
Yeah,
lady.
and put it part of the regulation. I
Yeah.
don't think many Aussies would say no to it.
No.
You could do that every Olympic cycle. Whoever our most successful swimmer is, the pool is named after that swimmer for the next 4 years.
Yeah.
So if you put a pool in the year 2000 to 2004, then you got a Thorpe.
You got a Thorpe.
You got a Thorpe. Now you got an Emma.
Yep. Last one would have been, was it Mac Horton we were looking for?
And you have to refer to it every time. You can't be like, oh, I'm going to go for a swim in the pool. No,
I'm going for a Thorpe.
I'm going to go for a swim in Thorpe.
Dip in the Thorpe.
I'm getting inside Thorpe.
Yeah. I'm going to jump inside him.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so Emma absolutely kill it. And the girls at the Olympics, everyone at the Olympics
Jess
absolutely
Fox
kill
as
it.
well. Crush on Jess Fox. Platonic crush. Married, but
Crush nonetheless.
Crush nonetheless. She is fantastic. Just like sweet, not arrogant. Needed to win gold. Her old man was fucking commentating when she did it. He was crying. We were crying. It was fucking brilliant.
If you weren't crying, you're not human. There, I said it.
Not Australian, that's for damn sure.
Were you crying?
I was crying the most out of everyone in the country. You really backed me into a corner with this whole fucking nonsense chat about the Olympics. Because it's not true, but the more I say it's not true,
The more it becomes true.
the more it becomes true.
Yeah.
Well, look, I believe you, but I don't know if I believe you about the crying over Jess Fox. I was. The nation was.
Look, I don't know if I believe you that you were crying.
Oh, I was crying, baby. Don't worry about that. Go back through my phone records. I watched the video about 50 times.
And so yeah, the pool incredible. They absolutely killed it. Track, I love the track. Honestly, track to me is similar like what cricket is to a lot of blokes. Like if you have track on a screen, I can sit there all day and watch it. You know what I mean?
What were your national titles?
800 meters.
800. But then what were you saying? You like 100, 200?
State. So I won Queensland for 100, 200, 400, 800 cross country.
What
And then
times did you do?
Fuck.
Well, you remember your 100, right?
Surely you remember it.
Well, not when I won the state.
Oh, right, so you're not like-
when I won the state.
Oh, what ages were you?
This was in I think like grade 7 or 8. But the last time that I did was a 10-7. So it was either year 10 or 11 that I did that. That was at regionals, and I actually did it in the heat. Qualified for state, and then I just didn't turn up to finals because I didn't enjoy running as much as I enjoyed soccer. So I was playing soccer.
And what was so you were the national champion for the 800 metres?
Yes. It was crazy.
Fucking
It was one of the most
hell.
crazy experiences over. It was like, it was in primary school. But when we got there, so I went there for the 100, 200. I don't think they had 400 at this stage for that age group, and then the 800.
They had the 400 at Little A's, not at school.
Yeah, I think so. And so we got there, and I was probably more keen on the 100, 200. Anyway, rock up to the 100 heat, and I look across, and I remember his name, and I can't believe it. His name was Robert Boateng. Bro, he was 6 foot and had a goatee in primary school. And we were going, what the fuck is going on here? So
Shout out to Robert if you want.
yeah, shout out to Robert.
Reach out.
So he was so big and so strong that he tripped at the start of the 100 and still won the national titles for the 100 metres.
Oh, shit.
Crazy. And so then the 200 comes. So I actually went better at the 200 than I did the 100. I think I ended up coming 9th in the 100 at nationals. But that was because that was after I'd already, it wasn't because, but like I wasn't as motivated because I'd already won the nationals for the 800. But anyway, the 200 came around. I think I ended up coming 4th in the 200. But the 800, I wasn't even going to run in the finals because I was like, I want to focus on the 100 200. But I was just being a little sooky fucking soft pussy. Anyway, so I ended up going, all right, fuck it, I'll do it or whatever. And it ended up being a perfect race. Like I remember to this day, like running, it was a perfect race for me because I'm a sprinter. Like whereas if they had a set, I mean, I might have been
slow. The pace was
slow.
slow.
The pace was slow, and like I'm cruising with the pace, going, this is perfect. Like no one in the 800 was a sprinter; they were all 800 meter runners. And then we got to the last 200 meters, and I was like, really, this is really happening? And boom, just gassed it.
gas.
And it was a slow average time. It was a decent. I think it was like 2:24. I could be fucking totally wrong, but this is in primary school. Yeah, and then I won the nationals. My mum was there. My grandma was there. It was fucking crazy, man.
Where was it held?
Fuck, I honestly can't even remember.
As in, like, would you have to like travel interstate for that?
Yeah,
sort of shit?
yeah, maybe South Australia or something. Again, I honestly can't remember. It was ages ago. But then, like, as like grade 7, grade 8, grade 9 kind of rolled around, I was doing it, but I wasn't training for it anymore. I was just playing soccer, and I didn't enjoy it as much. Like, I enjoyed it. Like I enjoyed it, but I knew that there was way more of a pathway in soccer for me. Anyway, I eventually just said, you know what, stuff it. I stopped doing cross country, and I think like grade 8 or something, grade 9, and then grade, I think 10 or 11 was the last time that I, went to like regionals and stuff like that. As I said, like I qualified for state in the heat, and then the next day I was like, you know what, fuck it. And I just didn't turn up to it.
I made regionals for shot put once when I was like in maybe year 6, or I think it was year 6, and the school was like, oh yeah, you did well. Okay. So they gave me some shot puts to take home and sort of practice at home in the garden. And I went to regionals and just came last. I was like, again, still like, I mean, I was never gonna come even close to winning, but I was like, you just, as soon as you get there and you see these people who are like just way better than you, and you're like, oh, I was living in a fantasy land.
How often did you throw the shot puts?
I think 3 times. Oh, you mean at home?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I used to practice after school. And then I got fucking just pumped like beyond like a never try shot put again. I'm like, all right, I'm out.
Did you go there thinking you were a shot at Glory?
I think I must have, bro. I was practicing fucking shot put every day.
And the weight of reality came crashing down.
Very quickly. And you know what? It's probably good for some kids to, like, the sooner you realize that life is like that, I think the better. Because it was just like, oh, I am just nowhere near as good as, like, they were bigger than me, stronger than me. And I was like, technique and shit. Yeah. I didn't know what I was doing.
I remember, like, the first time I made state, right? We started training, me and a girl named Katie Brown, and she was fucking quick.
You
right?
made state?
Yeah.
See, he just dropped that.
As in
heard that.
Regionals to go to state?
No,
or
so
state to nationals?
State, at state.
Yeah,
like
okay.
New South
Yep.
Wales. And we got a coach, and we were learning how to use the blocks and shit. Because remember at state, you had to use the blocks. And I remember before my heat looking up, and Katie Brown, who I trained with, won her heat. And I was like, fuck, I'm on here. I'm fucking on here. Like, look out. Anyway, in we hop. Gun goes off. Pump. What'd you come to the second line? Up the back.
State's legit though. Like going to state
Well, we're a bit different to Western area, mate. We're, little bit different to Western area. But funny. Anyway, so like Tom said, it doesn't always pan out the way you want it to.
You know what's crazy is I just got a message like 2 weeks ago, I think, from someone at St. Michael's saying that maybe my 100 or 200, one of my records got broken, and it was like a 16-year record or some shit like that.
Fucking look at you, mate. You got records as well.
Yeah, me and my brother still have records at Gold Coastal Athletics, and they're exactly the same. So there's one record that me and my brother have, 104.4 in the 400 metres, and it's still there.
And you both hold it.
S Camp, D Camp, yeah.
I had one at Parks Little A's in the hurdles, and my old man reckons that someone wasn't watching and fucking clicked the timer about 4 seconds into the race. It was that quick. I don't know if I've still got it.
That's what I'm talking about hand timing. That's what I'm talking about hand timing.
This bloke was trying to chat up a bird.
Hand timing could have robbed me of a few seconds.
Yeah, you know what?
It goes both ways.
It goes both ways.
I think in the comment section there was more pro hand timing.
Thank you very much. I hope so.
Well,
Because
look,
I've run a fucking punter's 10.
people like to hang on to the good old days, and that involves the sacred art of hand timing.
Yeah.
We don't want to lose all our nice traditions, Denon.
But yeah, the athletics, fuck. You know what's crazy is whenever I drive past Tartan and I smell it, I get fucking nervous as fuck.
Really?
I used to get
Man.
beyond nervous, bro.
Oh.
I used to like almost cry before races. I used to be so nervous.
Mate,
We didn't have tartan in Dubbo though, but it's more a grassing for me.
Even like remembering, like you'd rock up to state and there'd be like all these kids like trying to be like, oh, you know, I fucking ran this, like trying to psych you out because you were the guy.
I'd get psyched out.
Yeah, 100%.
And like, so they'd all be talking shit like, oh, like, so you were the state champ the year before, you'd go the next year and they'd be like, oh, there's this new kid, he's quicker than you now. And you'd be like, man, fuck off. Like, what the fuck? Just reminds me of all those days. But anyway, Little Athletics, fuck, I enjoy it so much. Like, even the high jump was so good to watch. Watching those two share the medal.
I liked that sharing
I
of
thought
the
it was
medal.
great too. So basically what the rule is, and I spoke about this on the last podcast, but the rule is this. You can either, let's say, they count back your misses, and if you're equal and you both don't make a height, you can either choose to have a jump off, so until one misses and one makes it, or you can choose to not do the jump off, therefore two people get the gold medal.
Mate, people have got the shits with it. I'm like, if it's a dead heat, they don't send them back up and run again.
Yeah,
What's the difference?
But also, like the shits about it. Like, these are the tippity top of athletes. They're the most competitive people in the world. If they're okay with it,
Exactly. That's
pretty
a great
sure
point.
you can be
That's
okay
a
with
great
it,
point.
bro. Like, do you think you know more about competition than they know, or the pureness of competition? You think you know more than that?
Yeah.
When you never have put
The
anything on
spirit
the
of
line.
competition. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
And also,
And aren't they boys as well, like their mates?
yeah. So the story behind it is that the Italian did his like Achilles or some shit, and he didn't speak to anyone. He turned his phone off. He was fully in depression. And the Qatar, is that his name?
Yeah, I
Qatar?
think so, yeah.
He's a fellow high jumper, and this was in 2012 or something, like 16, whatever it was. And he kept coming to his hotel door, knocking on it, and the guy would be like, fuck off, I don't want to talk to anyone, like full deep depression. And the guy from Qatar said, I'm not leaving until you let me in the room. This is genuine. And this is like 6 years before the Olympics. And then they became like close as anything, because he was the only, he wouldn't speak to his missus, wouldn't speak to anyone. He was the only guy that he would talk to about his dramas, because he thought his career was over. Like, he couldn't even, you know, make 220 or whatever, ended up making like 240 or some shit, or 39 or whatever.
237, did they jump?
237,
Whatever it was. And so they actually have been best friends for the last 6 years.
That's sick.
Like, how
It was the
incredible.
Qatari that offered to share the medal as well.
Yes, exactly.
Which
and,
is a beautiful touch.
and he's the guy that helped him,
Yeah.
the Italian
That-
too.
yeah. It's all coming together now.
See, I didn't know that element to the story. That makes it even better. Like, what the fuck more do you want? That's like an Olympic spirit story.
Well, it's like, it's what sport's all about. It's like overcoming adversity and like putting it all out there. And at the end of the day, it actually, you know, people say, oh, it does matter who wins, but it actually doesn't. It's the journey. It's the competition. It's the battle. And then at the end of the day, you shake hands.
And you both
move
get
forward.
golds, bruh. Like, you go back to Qatar, you go back to Italy, and you're both fucking doing corpies for the rest of your life.
Yeah, but it's sort of the Olympic spirit as well, you know what I mean? Like, they couldn't be separated.
And they're
It
like,
was nice.
and like a big reason for the Olympics, or a big part of the Olympics, is about countries that normally have nothing to do with each other. Some even warring.
Yeah.
Coming together on the piece of sport. You know, some of the history of the Olympics of, like, you know, when Germany and the world wars and that, and some of them were still held and blah, blah, blah. And also the Olympics, where people are like, oh, the Olympics was started to see who's the best. No, actually, it was started as a ritual to the gods of Olympus. So, yeah, people just, I thought it was a beautiful moment. I thought it was really beautiful. I hate the Olympics, though. I hate the Olympics.
Yeah, well, you're not a fan. I mean, well, you have become a fan in the last week.
Yeah, I learned that all the last week.
You must be a fan of Peter Bowl.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
First, so he's Sudanese Australian, and he's the first Australian ever to make the 800-metre final. And
Tomorrow night, I'm frothing.
Oh, I'm so keen.
Fucking
I'm
oath.
so
frothing.
keen. And apparently his story is incredible, like the hardship that he's went through and everything like that. So, mate, he's to make the 800 meters, like people, that is such a. The 800 meters is dedicated to usually the African countries. Like they are so good at it, like so good at it, especially the longer distances. Now I understand he's Sudanese, but at the same time, you can only run against who. Like if you're running against the top tier, like for example, when I used to run at the Gold Coast Athletics, we used to have like the best 4 runners in the state. So every week it was like a state titles, and that made us all better. But if you're running against shit people, you don't get as good. And so a guy like Peter, for him to be, I'm not sure where he trained, but still, if he's based out of Australia, he's not running against the best of the best every week. Whereas if you're
Especially
in Africa,
not in COVID.
yeah, absolutely. Whereas if you're in, Africa, a lot of the Kenyans in the long distance and that, I know Kenyans are usually better at the longer distance, but what I'm saying is their meets each week, the quality, even in Europe and America, it's way high quality. So for Peter to do that, it's absolutely incredible. Who else? Lisa Clay or Lindsay Clay? I think she just missed out on the 100-metre hurdles. We had Rohan, who ran a slower.
Dick's probably still a nice size, Rohan, but just not the same size as Shervo's. That's what I wanted.
Nothing wrong with that.
I just thought
nothing wrong with that.
we abandoned that. I'm sure you got a
Sometimes it's about the motion in
lovely
the
dick,
ocean. It's
but-
about the motion in the ocean.
Yeah, exactly. And look, I mean, you're a gifted athlete, so like I've got no doubt in my mind that you'd be able to lay it down when you have to.
Fast twitch. He's got a lot
Yeah,
of fast
dude.
twitch.
Mate, he can also run a 10:01. When he ran that and won the heat, I was like,
I couldn't believe that.
I was frothing.
Yeah.
man.
I couldn't believe that he delivered like that on such a big stage. Like you knew that he had it in him, but it's one thing. The 100 meters, as you guys know, it's about milliseconds. Like we saw in the final, he got a bad first 5 meters and he was basically out of the race.
Yeah.
For him to go 10:01 at 23 years old, absolutely incredible. And also the character that he brings to sprinting.
Yes, definitely.
You know?
He's
very well spoken.
Very well spoken. He's got the mullet. He can take the piss. He doesn't seem to take himself too seriously.
Yep.
He's fucking great.
He's pretty young. Paris only 3 years away.
Yeah, in sprinting terms, he's 23. Like,
I think 27 is about the age where you're
Right.
like peaking. Again, that's vibe. That's
Yeah.
a vibe check or something I've read off the internet. But could you please Google that, Matt? But I think 27 is when you're athletically peaking
So he's got time, bro.
without injuries and everything like
Yeah,
that. So
Plenty of time.
yeah, Paris rolling around.
He'll go sub 10 soon.
I think so. I think he'll
I
break
think he'll go
something.
sub 10 this year at some point.
Thank fuck for the Olympics. Jesus Christ, with this lockdown. But just in general as well, it was like, there was just no real hype. It was all sort of like, oh, is it going to go ahead? COVID, da-da-da. And then I'm like, dude, I fucking love the Olympics when it rolls around. I got to remember this energy.
I
next time it
wasn't
happens.
as hyped for it because I was worried that like the vibe would be off.
Yeah.
Without the crowd in that. And then when you like swimming, as I said, I'm not that big of a fan of swimming. I obviously enjoy when we win. But when I saw like the first event in track, I was like, oh yeah, like this is fucking
This
sick.
is it.
This is sick.
The thing, I think what helps, Tom, that we forget is that having a time zone that's generous helps a lot.
Yes, that's
like
fucking
if
so
if
true.
your if it's running from fucking 11 till 5 in the morning,
You're not
like
watching
Rio
any
was,
of
you
it.
don't watch shit.
That's
Yeah.
so
You
fucking
can't.
true. Or only like the big events because you don't want to be stinging the next day.
No, that's right.
But yeah, Rohan's going to be an incredible star. I reckon he's just got so much personality. You know what I mean? He can bring so many young kids that are going to be watching today when we do get the Olympics 2032. It's going to be incredible.
I'm pumped for the Olympics.
I
now.
actually am.
I was like,
fuck whatever. Who gives it?
Now
Now
I'm
I'm
like,
I'm
I'm
like-
going. I'm
Yeah.
going for the 100 meters and that. All the track stuff.
Mate, I'll be
I'm
there for 2 weeks.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm there.
I'm gonna
Maybe you'll
I'm
sponsor
gonna
Can you sponsor the event or no? There's no sponsors in the Olympics. Do you sponsor
yeah,
an
there's
athlete?
No, there's sponsors.
There's sponsors.
And by
There
that
you go.
stage, like 2032, hopefully we're doing okay. What were you going to say, Matt?
I mean, there's plenty of differing things, but it says the 100 meters is 23 to 25, 200 is 22 to 25, and 400 is a bit older, 28 to 31.
Okay, so he's 24, 25 is about the peak.
Yeah, there was so many differing articles.
Okay.
It's pretty much 23 to 30 is
23 to 30. Okay, so he's in his Goldilocks
He's in
zone.
his, yeah.
It'll be right in the thick of it with Paris.
Now,
Looking forward to it.
bit of a negative thing to talk about. Matildas were robbed. Did you see that no goal
No, see,
not
I missed
allowed?
it, but I saw the hullabaloo.
Oh, you hate the Olympics.
Well, no, actually, I just have a
But
child and I had to go to bed
Yeah, but like
because I had
Matildas-
to get up early.
but
And now
Matildas-
my life's a temple. My body's a temple. I'm fucking...
Matildas haven't made a semi-final ever in the history of the Olympics, or top 4 in the World Cup.
Bro, I watched their last game.
Oh, okay, but you didn't watch the semi-final though.
No, well, Manly was playing and then I had to
Okay.
go to bed.
So the tables have turned.
No, they haven't. I mean,
The tables have turned though.
we taught you about Olympic spirit and I feel like now you're trying to get up my ass.
But like I'm watching.
Put it this way. Does
behind the
Manly
girls.
take precedence over the Matildas? Yes, and I make no apologies for that. And then does a good night's sleep, being a young, handsome father in the prime of my life, does that take precedent? Yes, it does. I had to get sleep because...
Did you watch the Matildas?
I did.
Okay, well maybe should I just talk to you about it, or should?
Let's all talk.
Okay, we'll talk.
No,
okay,
no, you
sorry.
can include me in it,
Okay,
but
sorry.
I'm not going to be able to contribute anything of substance.
Well, what did you think about the disallowed goal?
Fucking ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
And I didn't like their goal either. They scored, the Swedes.
Yeah, that was fucking.
Look, at the end of the day, we had all the possession. We had
Yeah.
what? Fucking 80% of the ball in the second half. Couldn't get it done. It's unfortunate. But that's sport.
Should we have won, though? Is it like...
I just
Well-
they have had pretty rough reffing for the tournament. Even last game, it was pretty rough reffing. I think Sam Kerr looked a bit tired in that second
Well,
half.
the penalty,
Which is fair enough.
The penalty in the game before
Was
they
it G
gave
up?
to the UK was ridiculous.
Oh, that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I saw that one. That was
and
like, what
then
the
our
fuck?
goalkeeper, whose name escapes me, come up with one of the great saves of all time.
Great saves.
Like, that was a shit call.
Yeah.
The disallowed goal was shit. Like, we have got the rub of it this comp.
Yeah.
But we now play for bronze?
Yeah, we play for bronze. Do we
but
play the US?
Yeah.
US,
Yes.
which apparently so US obviously they won. They're the number one team of the comp, the world. But the crazy thing is, if we beat Sweden, we actually had a red hot chance to beat Canada. Like we might have even been nearly the favourites.
Yeah.
That's what's like. Even at the end of the game, they intentionally go offside. Sweden do, and the touchy waits for VAR, which is the video ref, to make the call. So that's an extra 30 seconds. So you can wait for the fucking video ref for offside that you can clearly see, but you can't wait for the video ref because of a bit of blocking in the box that was 10 metres away from where the goal was scored. That's what I just reckon. It was a fucking terrible call. But I do take your point. We still could have won that game. We dominated them.
did VAR not get involved when it could have for the Aussie goal?
So basically, at the end of the game, when they were trying to run the clock down, Sweden were intentionally offside. Like it was touchy's right there. They're 4 metres offside. They allowed play to continue, and then waited essentially. Like they allowed play to continue so much that they had a shot on goal.
Right.
And
Touchy should have been like,
boom,
Yeah,
penalty.
yeah,
But what I'm saying is that if you're going to allow to wait for the video ref for such an obvious call, how could you not wait for the video ref for a non-obvious call that a lot of people don't even think was a penalty? And all it was it was a cross, and they were all, so let's say they're all sitting there, we're crossing from here. They cross the ball, and there's some people back there that just got a little bit of contact. No, didn't fall over, nothing.
box stuff.
Literally, like just normal shoulder-to-shoulder contact. Immediately called a penalty. As she called the penalty, Sam Kerr kicked it, and it went in the net. So, like, it was a goal.
Oh,
But she called the penalty before Sam Kerr even had the opportunity to finish the goal.
right.
And so some people say, oh, well, she called the penalty, the keeper wouldn't have dived. But at the same time, it's like, why didn't you allow it to play for an extra
play
3 or
out
4
and then-
seconds
yeah.
and then use
And
the
then
video
give the
ref?
penalty off the
That's
bat.
why it's such a fucked call.
Yeah, right.
Such a fucked call. But in saying that, you're right. The second half, we were other than the goal, we were literally in their box for 35 minutes.
And we just couldn't get it done.
And I just thought Sammy Kerr looked so tired because she'd killed it for so long.
But she's been doing that in every game. And then they played extra time
exactly.
against
Yeah.
Great Britain. That's an extra half an hour. She was buggered.
rightly so. So I
And
felt
2-day turnaround, I
Crazy.
think, from the quarterfinal to the
Yeah.
semi-final,
crazy,
which is fucked.
crazy. So she's such a.
It wasn't our day yesterday.
Yeah.
The Hockey Rouge lost as well
Yes,
to India.
yeah.
Which
Did you
was-
watch the Hockey Roos?
Didn't Opals come back from
You
a?
didn't watch the
They
Hockey
got
Roos?
in by a point.
Yeah, because they won by
They needed
25.
25. They got 26.
Fuck,
I think.
crazy.
Well, they needed
Yeah.
24. They got 25.
They
one
got
of the two.
25.
Right.
24,
They
like-
needed 24. So
And they
there
got
we
that
go.
20. Like they came. It was like a late charge too for the 25. So that's yeah.
Mate, the Hockey Roos had like 90%
That was the
of
most
the ball.
fucking frustrating game to watch.
Mate, I was throwing shit. I was so frustrated.
It was just like they got a goal, India, and then it was just like the rest of the game we were just having shots.
And it was just like fucking penalty corner after penalty corner after, because couldn't get it right.
And I could not get my head around the rules as to what it constitutes a penalty corner, but
I still can't quite get my head around the rules. But we turn our attention to the Kookaburras. tonight, 8 o'clock, facing Germany.
Germany like their hockey, don't they?
They do, but I think we're a big sniff.
Yeah, the boys are on.
I think the boys are on tonight.
The boys
Fucking
are on.
oath.
So the girls have gone the big lift in the first half. The men need to deliver now.
They do need to deliver.
in the back half.
Yep.
Because at the moment we had the discus guy that just missed out. Denning. Fuck, 5
He was a vibe,
centimetres.
that guy. I liked
I
him.
liked his. He was a dribbler. I reckon he's officially a dribbler.
Fuck oath, he was a dribbler. He had a dribbler coming out his paws, and I
Well,
love
one
that.
of the swimmers is a fucking dribbler. One of
Yeah.
the swimmers is coming
better
on
than Lego.
Yeah.
How
He's
good
on-
was that?
He's actually
He's
a dribbler.
coming on about even.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Fuck, that's sick. That was such a good fucking quote.
It was fucking
Don's better than
hilarious,
Lego. I just reckon, like, as a whole, though, as a team, they've represented us so well. Like, the interviews have been entertaining. They've obviously delivered. Fuck, it's been such
That's
a
also
fucking
what's
good.
been good about it is that we weren't really expecting to just rip and fucking tear like we have.
Mate, I think we got another goal today in the sailing.
Really?
In the men's 470 class.
Wow.
So we're just fucking drowning
Gold for the nation. Aussie
in it. Drowning in it.
Good time. During tough times, they have absolutely fucking delivered.
Yep.
Now, we will go to the great Tom Trbojevic performance last night. One of the greatest performances we've ever seen in 67 minutes. 3 tries, 3 try assists, 3 line breaks, 3 line break assists, 15 tackle breaks, 227 metres, 4 offloads, and he broke the Supercoach record, 226.
Yes,
in
he
his
did.
11 games, he's now second overall in try assists at 19. He's now third overall in tries at 18. He's now third overall in line break assists with 25. That's in 11 games. That's just over half the season. So he's only played half the season, essentially. Is this the greatest form run we've ever seen? Now, obviously, Hayne comes to mind, Barber comes to mind. What do you think?
Call me biased. Greatest player all time. Greatest form all time.
He's the best I've seen.
He's the best.
Yeah, I've never seen form like this before. I mean, Hayne...
Is he played different to Hayne, like in terms of what he contributes in a more broad rugby league sense?
He gets through more work than Hayne.
Yeah.
But he's relatively similar in the sense that, like, they can ball play crazy. They're also fucking strong as. They're also fast. They're also...
He is so fucked up strong.
It's crazy.
He can't be tackled.
No.
No one
crazy.
can tackle him.
It's crazy. It's honestly bananas.
Like the ones where he's
Like that
he's-
third try when he was just like
you
fucking
just
ran
sort
at
of
him, just threw
ran
him
through the middle of the
like
forward.
what 5 blokes.
But it's even the
just
ones where he's
falling off
close
him.
to the line where, like, you've got a defend, like, there's a bunch of dudes there and he just fucking bunces them all.
He butzes him.
Bunces them.
Loves it.
Loves to butz.
And it's like
And he just
one-off
sort of like
stuff.
dance, and then like he'll just see like a minute little gap sort of
Yeah.
opening up, bang, through it. See you later.
And
just
it's,
brushes blokes
It's not
off.
like little halves or anything. These are like front rowers.
No,
where he's
big
just
man.
like, fuck, yep, sweet, all good. And he's not even, it's when he runs, it's not like, you know how some people run, they're like, or when they're trying to fend, it's like trying, where like, it doesn't even look like he's just kind of bracing and it doesn't look like
he's just sort of like, he's like Neo in the Matrix, where
Literally.
he starts believing in himself and he's just blocking every punch like it doesn't even
So I have
matter.
a question for you. Can you actually say it's better than Hayne? Because Hayne did get to a grand final and Storm were over the cap. But the where I counter that argument is Tom Trbojevic had one of the greatest Origin series we've ever seen. So, do you know what I mean? Whereas Hayne, I don't think in 2009, even though he probably fucking played well in Origin, he didn't win the fucking
Wally.
The difference is Tommy's got the Wally, and we're going to win the comp this year.
Okay.
And Jared didn't.
But
and he didn't get a Wally.
Let's say you make the prelim. Could you say that that's a better run than Hayne? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because he'll probably win the Dally M as well, even though Hayne won it that year. didn't he?
Cleary could win the Dally M.
Yeah, he could win it, but I don't think he will. I think he's going to come back. He's going to be
Where
good,
are
but
we?
he'll struggle.
Is it gone behind closed doors?
Yeah,
Do we
it
know
goes
where it's
behind
at?
after round
So
16.
I think Cleary was ahead by like maybe 6 points or 3 points. Like it was.
But would Tommy would have got man of the match last night. He would have got 3 points. And then who did we play the week before?
We played the... Oh, God.
My brain is
It
just
just
mush.
slips out.
But he certainly...
Dragons?
Yes.
Did we play the
Dragons, I
Dragons?
think
Yeah,
so.
we did.
And
Yeah,
he scored- he's at least
because
scored
they
a couple
didn't
there.
rest anyone. I don't think he got 3 points in that game.
He might have. We won the game. Who the fuck else you giving it to?
The good thing now though is he's in such crazy form that it's the Sharks. You played the Sharks last week.
No, we played them
Oh,
last
sorry.
night.
Apologies.
Cleary was
West.
6 points ahead of
Six-
Tom.
West Tigers. And it must have been South the week before.
Yeah,
Dragons
right.
the week
So we
before.
played the Tigers. But so like 6 points behind is just 2 games.
So he still had a try, 8 tackle breaks, 2 line breaks, 1 line break, assists, 327 metres. He could have got the fucking three
Mate,
points.
I think Cleary's in trouble. I think Cleary's in big trouble.
Yeah.
He probably doesn't play this week. He might. He's been named on the extended bench. I don't think. Why would you risk him? Not when the comp has to be your focus.
Oh, they're not going to risk Cleary for.
No, sure.
So that's another week.
Yeah.
Tommy Turbo's going to fucking flop the big T1 all over the Storm this weekend. There's another 3 points. I think he gets the Dally Am. I think we win the comp. It's going to be considered the greatest season of all time. Watch it happen.
Oh,
Watch it happen.
If they win the comp, it's like lock it in. Like,
Yeah.
lock it in.
Yeah.
Because to think how far you've come, like if you looked at the start of the season, like you were in the same boat as me.
Well, it was actually the same night after our critically acclaimed performance in front of the Chairman's Club.
Was that our last loss? No.
No, but that was the night where we got really touched up by the Panthers.
It was a shit night. Wasn't
it was like
It was wet.
It was dire.
40 something to 12.
It was a dire evening.
And
A night filled with laughs.
Well,
At
we had a
least
good
at
time.
least
Yeah,
it's
we
pop.
made the best of it. Not laughs from anyone in the Chairman's Lounge, that's for
But
sure.
from the Golden Eagles.
Yeah,
there's
the
plenty
Golden
of laughs.
Eagles, those boys. But I mean, it's kind of hard to work. Like he's ripping so hard that I almost feel like I've gotten to a point now where I'm taking it for granted.
Yeah.
Like every time he got the ball, we bombed a fuckload of tries as well to start that game. But it was just like every time he gets the ball, everyone around him wigs out, and then he just scores tries, and then he scores another try, and then he's got another hat trick. It's his 3rd hat trick for the season, I think. Do your own research on that. But you're like, I mean, I'm just getting used to greatness, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to go back now that I've had it.
He said the benchmark is so high now.
It is so high. That is like
It's
such a
so
strong point.
fucking high now.
Yeah.
That like, okay, if you don't score 3 tries and with 3 try assists and 3 line breaks, and I'm like, I'm not happy.
But the thing is, because he does it all the time, it's not like that's the one game where you go, fuck, how good was that? Like, you've said that a bunch of times. Like, is this the greatest fucking fullback performance I've ever seen?
It's
Like,
absolutely.
he's doing it all the time.
The numbers, like even in Haynes' form, Haynes wasn't putting up that kind of stuff. Like, it might be 3 tries, 12 tackle breaks, or you know what I mean. He's doing it like every metric you can measure an attacking player, he's doing it. You know what I mean? Line break, assists, line breaks, try. It's just fucking mental. It is mental to see, and it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. And if he even plays, like, let's say he isn't even the best player on the field, but he's the 2nd best or 3rd best, he'll still get the 3 points because the hype's there now.
Yeah.
The hype's, as soon as he gets the ball, everyone's going, fuck, what's going to happen? What's going to happen?
That's what you saw with Hayne and Barber, where
Yeah.
it was like opposition players just shit their pants whenever they touch the ball.
So, yeah, absolutely.
they don't know how to defend him. It honestly looks like junior footy.
That 3rd try looked like junior footy.
Looks like junior
really
footy
does.
where there's this like prodigious kid who's just fucking killing everyone.
Does it upset
really does.
you, Denon, like that it's a Manly player that's doing it? You know what I mean? Just from like an ability that we just get to come in here
in the
and
year
fucking-
that you met us, sort of
where that
thing.
you've brought us on, and then we're sort of going on this biblical run with the greatest player.
And you
of
were
all
probably
time.
like, oh, how cute is this? Like both our teams suck together.
and then it's just all turned around, and now you suck.
And now
but
like we're like the best
No,
team in the comp,
see, you
and
know what's-
Tommy's the best.
What's happening here is you're projecting the way
And New
you
South
would
Wales
feel.
and New South Wales won the Shield. That sort of thing.
that's been a great.
But
year.
like you're projecting how you would feel, whereas I'm above that. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for Tom. I'm happy
Dude,
for
not
Manly.
projecting. I was
It
asking a question.
was a question.
No, but
was a question.
You're
This is a
projecting
fucking-
it
we gotta
because
ask the questions
You're
here.
sitting yourself. This is how I would feel. I wonder if he would feel the
not
same
at
way.
all. I wouldn't feel that. Well, I mean, I don't know how I'd feel. It doesn't happen to me. But like, I just was checking in. I was just
Well, you
checking
didn't
in
see
on
the
him.
great Tyson Gamble put on 3 tries just on the weekend. You didn't see
You
that.
got him in your team of the week. That was
Well, he meant-
He
congrats
actually
to-
played really fucking good.
Yeah,
He meant more that Manly's never won a spoon.
yeah,
So we don't know how you feel.
yeah. We don't.
It's
get
crazy. What is crazy is you actually are a merger club, but you always put shit on merger clubs.
It. We're not a merger club though. We're the Manly Seagulls.
Who's the team?
Yeah,
What's
who are we
the team?
merged with?
Is it the
We'll
Northern
leave it
Eagles?
to
Is that the
historians.
Northern? Is it the Northern Eagles? Answer the question.
Who's Tom Trbojevic played
Yeah,
for?
but Eagles,
They were.
But who is it?
Manly Seagulls,
Is it the
Northern
Manly
Eagles.
Warringah Seagulls? Yeah.
But the Eagles bit, it's the same. That's what you took from them.
So, no, Seagulls.
We didn't take that from them. We had that before.
It was the Northern Eagles. It's the Manly Warringah Sea Eagles. Completely different teams.
It's just
Completely different
very interesting. It's a very interesting point.
I'd be very concerned if I was one of your investors around your inability to differentiate words.
very concerned.
Now, on to Kyle Flanagan. He has been removed from the side again. It is, man, talk about tough years for the bloke.
Yeah.
What is,
He signed for how many years with the
3
Bulldogs?
years.
So, and what do you reckon he's on? 5?
Yeah, probably 5, I reckon. I reckon 5's fair.
Get the bag, King. Just keep getting dropped. Like,
I think it's fair to say, Tom, it's a fairly lean trot.
it's a lean trot for Kyle. Obviously, you can't blame him solely for the woes of the Dogs, but what you can do is point out that they have an aversion to scoring rugby league points, and as the playmaker, the one who maketh the plays, he struggles in that department.
Struggles big time.
They have no halves.
They didn't go too well on the weekend, did they?
No.
I mean, it was a tough outing for them. It was a very tough outing.
Very tough outing.
I actually backed them. Am I back them again this week? Fuck oath I am. But that's a different story. Yeah, Kyle's all at sea.
Oh, man.
I don't know what the answer for Kyle is.
I honestly don't
know.
either.
Man of Steel?
Fuck,
Do you
mate.
go in a Man of
what?
Steel,
I
get
think
your confidence
for
back?
confidence, yeah.
Where's he going to get his confidence from? If
Man of
you're
Steel.
Go to
Dude.
Super League.
100%?
Man of
Yep.
Steel.
I honestly think that, like,
Better than going to a full season of, like, New South Wales Cup?
That's
He's already done that, though.
Because you're sort of a bit closer.
Yeah, but does confidence grow in the if you're
I
like,
don't know.
if you're,
I'm
if
asking
you're
the
a
question.
marquee,
get good coin,
I'm
go to
asking the
Super
question.
League,
Well, yeah.
get the confidence back. Because
dominate some losers over there.
But does anyone ever come back from the Super League?
Hastings is back next year.
players
Obviously,
come
Killer
back.
did, but he's not a half.
He's great.
Fuck, who recently came back from Super League?
What half has had shit form going to the Super League, found it, come back?
Joey went to Warrington for a bit, but he already had good form.
He also
He's already killing it.
he was a fucking bad tackle away from retiring from a bad neck. Though, wasn't he, at the
Yeah.
time?
Oh, actually, I don't know. But he just went to fuck.
No,
man.
there have been players that have gone to the Super League, come back and played well. They absolutely have.
Yeah, there has.
Yeah, I'm
Just-
not
they
taking
just don't
the piss. I'm
come to
saying,
mind.
does it happen often?
Yeah, I
Is
think
that a good course of action for
If
young
you're a young
Kyle?
half, is it all right? I mean, maybe it's a bit better because you can go and rip and tear.
If you can angle for that, Catalans gig,
That's where I'd be going.
fucking oath.
I
Go
would
over
go
there,
to
rip and
Catalans.
tear, drink rosé,
Sun yourself.
sun yourself, baby. That's the way to get your confidence back.
that will you come
you
back
come
with
back brown as a
beautiful
berry.
Yeah.
Ooh, baby.
Yeah.
and you've been hooking up with some honeys over in Europe.
Some
Oh, yeah.
Mademoiselles.
That'll get you going.
Oh yeah, if he goes on a tour of the honeys,
Yeah.
mate, you come back ripping and tearing.
Yeah.
What gets?
No better way to get your confidence than a couple of honeys.
Oh, mate. I mean, if there is like one thing that footy players love, it's honeys and footy.
Yeah.
So if you go
Well,
over
sometimes
there,
it's honeys first.
exactly. So if you
That's
go
all
over there
most
and
times.
you pursue the honey,
Yeah.
you get a bit of honey.
Go
you
there
dip,
for honey.
You dip your stick in, you get the confidence, and then you come back, you rip and tear.
Get your Winnie the Pooh on, baby, and then come back and play a bit of rugby league football in the NRL.
You know, get it Eddie's system. Maybe he's been.
Apparently, it's good that sort of that
French honey.
French southern French honey.
Oh, it wouldn't be bad. That's for sure.
No.
It looks tasty to me.
I mean, it doesn't look bad,
Tell you what, New South Wales Cup honey.
Looks good on a crumpet. You know what I mean?
mate. I've seen a few crumpets in my time.
Looks good on a crumpet.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
southern French honey, baby.
Nice bronze crumpet.
You know what? Maybe he needs some good old fashioned ripping and a tearing in Europe, whereas here in Australia, a bit confined. He's trying to do the right thing and just focus on footy. But sometimes footy players need to have a few controversies where no one gives a fuck about rugby
Correct.
leagues.
Yeah.
Look, if I'm reading between the lines here, Denon, I think what you're trying to say is historically halves down on their luck, within different form, look to get a nut off in, to help them find, lost
some form.
Lost form.
Yeah.
Is that what you're suggesting?
Fire
Look.
one off.
I think
Fire a couple off?
fire a couple of nuts off.
Yeah.
Dip
In
a
the
bit of-
med.
look, get a bit of honey in your system.
You're getting
No
the
better place.
Mediterranean nut firing is
Is the med near Catalans? Not sure.
I don't know.
It is now.
Look, it's only a flight away.
it's Europe.
Put it this way:
Thereabouts.
He's a flight away from a fucking.
if he's in New South Wales Cup,
From a
he's
nut in the med. Nothing like nutting in the med. That's where
dude.
form's found.
Yeah.
Mate, it's a secret sauce. It is the secret sauce. You go over to Super League. Look, if you're New South Wales Cup, you're flying to what? You're flying to Queensland. It's Gold Coast. Everyone's been there.
Yeah,
You go in the Med. Shoot a nut across the bow.
Dude.
And maybe you'll be hitting nut and chest after that.
That's it. You just got to get back to basics and firing the nut that you create yourself. Homegrown nut first.
There's a reason why Homo sapiens flock to the med every year. Yeah, to get a nut off.
Look, get a nut off the field, then put nut on chest on the field.
It's not that fucking difficult, really, if you think about it.
People get 2 X's and O's. They get balls deep in the,
minutiae of rugby league, Eddie.
Like,
Get ball deep in honey over in Europe. Sounds a lot better than me.
If Seabold wasn't an example of what can go wrong if you go too deep, then I'm not here. Like, back to basics.
Yeah, sometimes you don't want to go too deep in the numbers as a footy player.
Nah.
You can get many a player and coach have been lost in the numbers of footy. Because it's not a game about numbers.
Tell you what, you can't get lost in honey. It's see-through. You can find your way out.
As a footy player, that's where you belong, really. When you hear a nature documentary being, the voiceover, and they say, here he is in his natural habitat, that is a footy player dripping in honey.
Dripping in honey, rolling around with like a pot of honey.
And so, look, I think Flanagan.
His mates there as well.
Yeah.
Maybe, allegedly.
Well, they're sharing the pots.
Yes.
Sharing honey with your mates doesn't hurt.
I mean, fuck, what world are we in where you can't share some honey with your mates?
On a few crumpets.
Yeah. Oh, plenty of crumpets. Shout out to crumpets.
You know,
Not an ad for crumpets.
Yeah,
Crumpets are great.
Have
Crumpets
crumpets
undefeated.
But have crumpets kind of lost their pizzazz?
No.
Well, we've been talking about crumpets on the podcast, so I assume they probably haven't been higher. But I know what you mean, that the crumpet maybe fell out of the mainstream for a little while. I don't know why that is, but our job to bring it back.
It fell out of favour for a moment. I'm not going to say it was going the way of white bread, Denon, but at one stage there, it was.
So you reckon white bread's done?
White bread in the current climate is done. Yes.
White bread's like, you could print on white bread at the moment. It's fucking.
White bread used to be in every home in the country, every single one, without fail.
Yeah.
It's hard to find white bread now. People get the brown, people get the multigrain, they get the nice niche French stuff, it's all great bread, but
sourdoughs.
Sourdough's,
Sourdough's the pinnacle.
Sourdough's the fucking undefeated.
You can't go much better than sourdough. But like white bread, I think white bread, it still has a place.
White bread was everywhere.
It was everywhere.
In every house. In every home.
Or Wonder
on every
White.
sandwich.
Is it Wonder White?
So when you say best invention since sliced bread, we're not talking about fucking white bread. We're talking about
sourdough.
But what I'm saying is, in a roundabout way, crumpets were headed the way of the white bread. Tom and I brought it back. Now, guess what I say every time I walk into the IGA? Crumpets. $1.68 on special. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for
Load
coming.
them up. You can't get crumpets at a better price than that.
Butter honey on a crumpet or butter Vegemite on a crumpet?
Do you think
Next
crumpets
question.
are dedicated specifically to morning?
Next question.
Or they suit the afternoon better? What kind of daytime?
I think a crumpet's not trans-seasonal, although they are trans-seasonal, but breakfast, lunch, afternoon tea, fine. I wouldn't suggest crumpets for dinner. I don't think that's a good call.
If there's nothing doing and I'm feeling lazy, I'll whack a couple of crumpets into the toaster. Fucking oath I will. Crumpets go all day, Denny.
Okay. I just need to know. I want to know about the crumpets, mate. That's all.
Have I answered the question?
So look, get a bit of honey.
Right, honey or veggie.
Yeah.
People like jam. Jam's all right. Not for me.
You're going to hear a bit of blasphemy here, but I actually just like a bit of butter on the crumpet.
You know what? That's not as blasphemous as
That's fine.
Because butter is an essential element to the crumpet.
And there's something about the texture where it like melts into it.
No, that's fine. I'm okay with that.
No, that's not blasphemous at all.
Okay, thanks. I need to know that.
No, you're good.
I've been wrestling with that for quite a while.
When was the last time you had a crumpet?
A crumpet or a crumpet?
Like a crumpet. Are you feeling like crumpets? No, not a crumpet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
are we talking about honey on a crumpet?
No.
Are we talking about
not rugby league crumpets?
So we're not talking about an ethically and a different ethnicity of crumpet. We're talking
not
about
the Mediterranean crumpets.
Okay.
No.
What about
homegrown crumpet?
Yeah, homegrown.
What about
crumpet.
an Asian crumpet?
Listen, haven't had an Asian crumpet.
I haven't had an Asian crumpet either.
It's hard to know.
I'm drowning in an Asian crumpet.
Yeah. You like that crumpet?
I love that crumpet.
But how about your stock standard golden circle?
Yeah,
crumpet?
your golden circle.
I like a bit of exotic, a bit of
exotic crumpet.
Sure.
Good for you, dude.
Well done.
Anyway,
Shout out to crumpets.
Shout out to crumpets.
Feeding Australians every day. Hard working Australians.
Hard-working Australians.
okay. Now, Billy Army. Speaking of crumpets on heads.
Yeah, that was a 10-minute crumpet chat for anyone who's.
I could have gone long. I could have gone longer. I could
We
have gone
cut
longer.
that short. Just so everyone knows, we cut that crumpet
Mate.
chat short.
That's been
If
edited.
you said to me, talk for 2 hours about crumpets, I'd do it on my ear.
Yeah.
Piece of piss.
Now, Viliami Kikau, the shock rugby threat Penrith fight to keep 120 kilo beast. That is the Viliami Kikau. There is word that the union is interested in Kikau. Thoughts on a large gentleman like Kikau going to union?
Is he 120 kilos?
Yeah, he's a big boy.
He's humongous.
I think Trell's about 115, 116.
No, Trell.
Trell is big boy. Bro.
I would, but I look at Shell and I'm like, yeah.
But
You'd be
115.
120, bro.
Fuck.
He's massive.
It depends for me with How
tall is he?
Which rugby unions are you going to? If it's Australian rugby union, I don't think it'll happen. If it's like international, like Toulon or something, then it's like they're going to throw.
Well,
around big dickies.
if he's chasing that billionaire cash,
That's
sure.
what I'm saying.
But like what?
So he's-
Honestly, are you trying to tell me that one of the provinces in Australia is going to be able to afford him?
No, I'm saying there's no fucking way they will.
Fucking way.
he'll be having a
Dennett,
few
not you.
European crumpets, that's for sure. When it comes, if he goes to union,
Oh yeah, it's European. crumpets.
I mean, it might be part of the contract, really.
Should be.
The crumpet clause.
How old is he?
He's 26. He's 195 centimeters, 116 kilos. That's usually in preseason. Though some players put weight on during the season.
Right.
But 195 centimeters, 116 kilos.
Yeah, I
He's a
mean,
big boy.
he'd be a back rower, I assume, wouldn't he? He'd be a number 8 or a number 6.
I mean, if you like, let's say they win a comp this year or whatever, do you just ride off into the sunset on $1 million a year for 5 years and fucking enjoy the South of France crumpets?
Yeah, dude. I definitely would consider doing that. Like, if you win a comp, why the fuck wouldn't you? Especially he's got he sends money home to his family in Fiji and all that. Like, if you can go and just completely, not just like earn money that's like, hundreds of thousands of dollars, obviously good money, like fantastic money, but like this is bullshit money in European rugby where it's like your family's not just now like getting a housemaid for him, it's like you fucking get whatever you want sort of shit. I could see him going to French rugby. I assume he wouldn't like. Sonny Bill was a forward in rugby league and a back in rugby union, but like I can't see Viliami playing in the centres.
He could though.
I reckon he could though.
He definitely could.
Just if he stays fit in that, he would be destructive. Just quickly,
reckon he could, dude.
Latrell isn't. He's not under 20. He's about 108, 110. Latrell, and he's 193 centimeters.
So Latrell only 4 kilos heavier than me at this point, which is disgraceful.
And he's 100 and how many?
193 centimeters.
And 10 centimetres taller. Wow.
It's all right. You're on the path to greatness.
The problem with Kikau though for Penrith is you're not even going to get close to be able to matching him. Like, can you really afford to have Cleary on $1 million and then have $1 million back rower?
Of course you can't.
Because he's gonna get $1 million a year at a rugby union side.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean, if they're going to throw that sort of money around, and those billionaires in Europe can, and even Japan, they throw stupid money around as well because they've got such big backers like Panasonic and shit.
Yeah.
So,
And they also have the the global travel element that rugby league doesn't have.
100%. But I still think, and I'm speaking for fucking rugby league players here, but like, surely the allure of winning a comp is a fucking hard one to ignore, right?
Sure, but if he wins a comp, you go, oh, okay.
But like, that's assuming he wins this year.
yes.
If he doesn't, does he hang around? I don't know. But to your point, if he wins, I'd be fucking off to Europe 100%. $1 million a year.
Yeah, I just think that
Sets you up.
Yeah, I think if you can get like a 5-year deal over in Europe, even if they don't win the comp, but they like the thing is like, would you risk? Let's say the 5-year deal because he's 26 now, so prime time. It is a risk for the union clubs, but also he's at 26 years old, so you're getting him you're not getting him at 30 years old.
No.
So this deal, if there is a big deal, clearly it's his manager leaking this to drive up his value. But let's say there is really a deal, and you're Viliami Kikau, and you're sitting there and you're going, okay, we went on that crazy one, we played in a grand final. Even if they don't win the grand final, would you really risk this monster deal to just win the grand final? Do you know what I mean?
I wouldn't. Well, like, I mean, I
When
get
you've
it.
already been in a grand final?
Potentially.
A huge
Depends
risk.
how much it means to him. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to say, right? I guess there's some people would.
But
It's
he could sign a shorter deal,
Like a 1 year and then go to...
like a 2-year deal or something with the Penrith, and then
I heard the Cowboys
27.
wanted him
He's still
back.
fucking ready to go.
Yeah.
was the Cowboys wanting him back a thing, or did I just make that up?
The tough thing now is if there is genuine rugby interest, a guy like Kikau, because he is such a genetic freak, to compete with those offers, it's just going to be tough for any other NRL club. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not like he's this guy that's killing it in league, and there might be some clubs overseas. Like, he's a big Fijian guy that is got a build, and the way he plays, you can't buy that. So the amount of clubs that will look at him and just go, like, overseas, and just go, yeah, 100% we'll sign him for 5 years. Like, you could be the next big thing in Union.
Yeah.
Even Semi Radradra. Like, Semi Radradra is like a king.
Yeah, he is. He just won gold at the Olympics as well.
Yeah, he didn't play in the finals.
But he was part of the squad.
Yeah, he was part of the squad. But in Union, he kills it. Like, he kills it. And so, what do you got over there, mate?
So, Viliami Kikau played centre growing up in rugby union.
There you go.
Played against the Australian schoolboys for Fiji. So
he's a
equivalent.
gun.
So he's got rugby background as well.
So honestly, again, I could be totally wrong. This is just pure speculation. But if those offers are coming, I can't see him staying. Like, because he's a gun already. Like, he's already played the game. The offers that he'd be getting would be fucking huge.
I wonder if he'd play. Surely he'd play for Fiji, right?
Yeah, and that's another. Maybe he's preparing for the next World Cup.
That's a big allure.
That's a massive allure.
That's year after next, 23.
France, yeah.
France. Oh, fucking who's on board? There you go.
I don't say dance.
You said France.
Yeah, but France. You can
chance. I don't say chance.
I'm going to allow that. I'm paying that.
You can say France.
Yeah.
Of course you.
I don't say chance.
Yeah, exactly. I'm paying that.
Fuck both. Yeah. Bullshit.
And like, did you go to a really ritzy private school?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Yeah. Suck eggs.
Yeah, well, fuck both of you fucking rich private school fucking dog cunts.
I did half. So I'm like in and out.
So your identity is in both worlds.
Well, you're 79 Bush League,
Yeah.
10 to 12 ritzy. So
Did you get a
make up your own
scholarship?
mind.
How did that happen?
Bursary.
What's
Yeah.
that?
But it's like not a scholarship, so it's not based on anything. They're just like they want country kids. I think it's good for
Really?
the culture.
That's crazy. Yeah. So they just want country kids. We'll just bring you in.
Yeah.
Fuck.
There's not like any metrics that you need to.
Need to hit in that.
Yeah. You just got.
What was it like going? Like, this is a genuine. What was it like going to a rich school?
To be honest, it's fucking weird now because like I just happened to live near where our school was, but going past there and you just like what you kind of became accustomed to is like normal. And obviously when you like go and just become a normal fucking, like just an everyday, you're an adult, I guess, out of school, you're just like, I am blown away by the shit that like you just saw as commonplace as like, fucking normal. It was great though. Like I can't complain about it.
It's made way easier because you're boarding. At least in my experience. Because like all the other kids at board are like similar sort of situations. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that makes the transition way easier. If I just like went there as a day boy, it would have been fucking weird.
Yeah, I
reckon.
bought it as well. Same thing.
I would have found it difficult, I think.
So was it an all boys school?
Yeah.
Was that fucked?
Nah, not
Not
really.
really.
I came from a co-ed school for my first 2 years of high school, and then went up there, and it was
That would have sucked initially, surely.
I mean, maybe I don't remember it being particularly like oh, what the fuck? Because you kind of came up to Sydney and you're like, oh, there's heaps of girls' schools around here as well, so it's kind of just like,
okay. You know what's weird is like everyone's like, man, school days are the best days, and I miss school. I fucking didn't like a single day of school, and I hated school.
Really?
I liked, when I left school, I liked the comfort that school had provided. Like everything was done for you, and there wasn't any like life stresses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
What the fuck am I going to do with my life now? Like big decisions and shit.
That's also, I mean, I'm sure it's stressful for anyone, but like there was something about like there were just mega fucking rich kids in your year, and like everyone was going off and doing shit, and you're just kind of like, what the fuck am I going to do?
Yeah.
I'm doing
Like everyone's lined up fucking like
jobs with
St Andrews and shit. Like
college and all this sort of
interns
stuff.
at Citibank and shit. I'm like, I've got fuck all going on.
Wait, what are you doing? I remember the chick I was dating, her grandparents were like, so you're going like straight to uni, aren't you? And I'm like, no, I'm probably just going to take a couple of years off and just sort of fucking hang. And they're like, and they were just like needling me about going to uni. And I was like, well, fucking, I don't care. And then I just started wigging out and just signed up to a uni.
You go to fucking
Australian Catholic college because I couldn't get in anywhere. Like, it wasn't like I could sign up. I got a fucking shit score. So I just signed up to the Australian Catholic College or whatever it was, and then like you had 2 weeks to bail, and after like a week and a half, I'm like, fuck this shit, and I just bounced. And she dumped me like not too long after that.
Had a stern talking to, you reckon?
Probably. Nan and Pop were like, oh,
This kid's not going anywhere.
This loser.
abandoned
Fucking
ship.
joke's on you.
Look at me now, bitch.
Look at me now, dick jokes.
Oh, fuck.
Spent
Top of the
20
heap
minutes talking
now.
about crumpets, baby.
You know what? They would have seen the Dr. V Energy ad and gone, holy shit.
Look at him.
I should have stayed with him. The one that got away. One of the great energy drink ads.
Oh, fuck yeah.
One of the
I think
great.
it's the number one energy drink ad.
Mate,
I think it's
what holds
trending
a
number
candle to
one.
that?
Nothing.
No.
I haven't seen
Shout
anything
out to
better.
Dr. V.
I haven't seen anything better. Shout out to Dr. V Energy.
Yep.
That's free for you.
That's
I
free
just
for you.
Just threw it out to
Yeah.
you.
You're generous.
I'm generous. I just did it.
We'll be billing them for you.
Send them all metrics and that.
yeah, exactly.
Now on to the match previews. Sorry, match review. Sorry. So we reviewed Manly versus Sharks. Manly's forward pack is one of the most underrated forward packs in the comp. That they were rolling down the field like they looked like Penrith last year. You know what I mean? That's how explosive they looked, how dominant they looked. I genuinely believe that you have to worry about the key with Manly and Rabbitohs is when you've got like a guy like Tom or Latrell, that's a scary thing. You know what I mean? Like they can do anything.
Yeah.
And they're truly Manly more so, but Rabbitohs and Manly for me are truly the two people that can worry Storm and Panthers because they have those guys in it. Thoughts?
I couldn't agree more. It's like we finished poorly in that game. You know what I mean? Like we started really well. Then the back end of the first half, we sort of shit the bed a little bit. Let in, so like it was only 16-10 or something before going into half time, or 16-12. But like when the boys are on, and again, Manly apologist, I just think we've got some young fellas who are, already elite, but just still learning the nuances of hard-nosed rugby league.
Perfect example is like a guy like Saab and Schuster. Like Saab had 5 errors. And so like that, usually, if he doesn't get too ahead of himself, that slowly gets taken out of someone's game as they mature. Like for a lot of Saab's errors that he has are concentration errors. Like he just doesn't stay in the game for 80. Same with Schuster, and that as they get older, they'll start realizing like I've got to be in it for 80. Like so. I agree with you. Like some of the younger boys, they just have lapses in concentration, and also you just put the cue on the rack, like as a team.
Yes, exactly.
Like,
we took Tommy off, and we just went, "Fuck it, feet up."
Yeah. But it's going to be scary when you like, for example, Saab. Let's say he was down at the Storm. That they're so good at getting that shit out. Look at Remus Smith. He's got the most tries of any centre in the game. He was at the Dogs.
Is he really?
Yeah. He's playing like he did a number on Viliami Kikau on the weekend.
Yeah, but the Storm are on a different level in that way, in terms of getting the best out of players.
Well, I believe Desi can do that though. You know what I mean?
Well, he is, particularly with the boys up front. Good lord.
Yeah, fucking oath.
Like that, the pack now is the best in the comp. There, I said it.
It has the potential, and I think this week's going to be a really good test of where is Manly. You know what I mean? And you answered the test against Penrith. They had a full strength Penrith, and you were the only team to really challenge Penrith other than Melbourne.
But we've come on leaps and bounds from that performance. That was months ago.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
That was kiddie
Much
shit.
better team.
That was a different Manly side. They were still looking for their identity a little bit. You know what I mean?
Well, you
Wasn't
didn't have
sure they were.
Olakau'atu humming like he is. Josh Schuster wasn't humming like he is.
Olakau'atu he's a scary man.
He's fucking humongous.
He's frightening.
Loves to hit. Loves to run.
See, like,
How many errors did Schuster
look at this.
have?
Saab, 5 errors. Schuster, 4.
Yeah.
So they're your
Brad
two
got a-
rookies.
If
Brad
Josh
got through
gets
a
them
couple.
out of his game, whoo, baby.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And
Look out.
And that is what can separate you from a Storm. But let's say they were at 1-1. That's when you have a red hot crack against the
Yeah.
Storm, I reckon.
Errors were. We did have some fucking errors. There is also obviously you don't want errors of that level, but if I can lean on Rain Man Michael Pride from About Even, the teams with the best completion rate aren't the best teams in the comp. Just based on numbers, like I don't mind like having a crack and chancing your arm and fucking up that way, but the way we were doing it last night,
These were poor errors, I reckon.
bad. They were just like drop balls in tackles and shit.
But yeah, like looking red hot, like Sipley, Croker. Hasn't Croker bloody come leaps and like he
Greatest
wasn't
hooker in
even
the comp.
he wasn't even a hooker at the start of the
No.
year, and now he's one of the hooker of he's
hooker in the
locked his spot in.
Yeah.
He's starting to believe he's a hooker.
Yeah.
You know,
That was his biggest problem. He didn't believe.
he didn't believe. He woke up every morning and said, "I'm not a hooker.
I'm a half.
I'm a half.
Then, once he started to believe that
Now
he
he
could hook with the best of them.
truly believes that he can hook and hook well.
Yeah.
and hook true, Tom.
Yeah, hook for the Peninsula.
That's right. And hooking he is.
He's fucking hooking his ass off for the Peninsula.
Absolutely. And you know what? Lachlan Croker, although not of the Cade Cuss fame suiting rugby league name, Lachlan Croker is a good, strong rugby league name. in my opinion.
Croker's rugby league.
Yeah,
Rugby league tough.
Yeah.
That name, synonymous with rugby league tough. So look, it's also that what's good about Lachlan Croker's name is obviously it's got the Croker in there that is synonymous with rugby league tough, but it's also just like such a not a memorable name at all. Lachlan Croker. Just
That's what
like
you want.
That's exactly
Yeah.
what you want.
well, it's roll your sleeves up.
Yeah, it is
It's-
roll your sleeves
It's get
up.
through the dirty work. It's fucking get the job done.
It's not like Flash like Cade or
No.
someone with like a 3 Ys in their name. It's just like Lachlan Croker. I'm here to roll my sleeves up and
well,
hook.
it doesn't pretend to be anything more than it is.
No.
You know what I mean? They haven't thrown in 3-4 extra Ys into that last name
No.
or the first name. There's no Ys at all.
It's
And that's what I love
wireless.
about it.
Yeah.
It's wireless.
Yeah. It's the antithesis of what you would assume is a great rugby league name, but that actually makes it one of the great rugby
Well, that's
league
his
names.
superpower.
Yeah.
Is that you don't actually realise how much of a footy player he is because it is such a...
His superpower is seemingly that he is mediocre, but he's
not.
But he's not.
He's a ripping and tearing.
He pretends to be mediocre, but he rips and tears you apart.
Yeah.
Whilst you're confused
look
by
at
why
you
this
go,
mediocre guy's ripping and
Daly,
tearing you
Cherry
apart.
Evans, Toa Fafoa, Sipley, and then Martin Tapau and Olakawatu and Schuster and Trbojevic on either side of him, and then just noodles Lachlan Croker.
Yeah.
Just like the name.
That's the glue.
That's it.
That is the glue.
Mate, he should release a range of glues. He'd bury you.
Yeah. He would bury you.
Fucking oath. You like if
tough.
you walk into year 6 classroom and you unzip your manly fucking pencil case and you whip out a big thing of bloody Croker.
Yeah.
Now who's the coolest kid in the school? You are.
You are.
Absolutely.
Because you're
Croker
rocking Croker. And yeah, it's edible. So
Yeah, you can
Deal with
eat
it.
it. It won't poison you.
And your project, when you hang it up, all the shit doesn't fall off
No,
after a
exactly.
day.
Yeah,
Whereas
it's
all the other
dependable.
kids, their fucking shit's all falling off. It all looks shit. They might get a good mark, but in 24 hours, does it
it
last
was
like
shit
Croker
house.
does?
You
No.
didn't stand up to the rigors of year 6 assignments.
Or-
and
or the-
clag glue was fucking show and tell
Well,
stuff.
clag glue is made of horse feet. That's to do your own research and
and
allegedly.
you needed
don't
half
wanna-
a gallon to get something stuck.
Yeah, exactly. And your Yoo-hoo glue didn't stand up to the rigors of the fridge. That's
No,
what-
it didn't.
If you wanna
Tom.
put something
it used
up
to
on the fridge,
peel.
it-
It used to peel.
fall off.
Now,
the integrity of the project lost.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Not
go-
with Croker.
I'm going to go out on a limb here, and not on a limb to you guys because I feel like you're already going to agree. Morgan Harper is fast becoming one of the best centres in the game.
Yep.
I said it last week and I'll say it again. He's the best line runner, maybe of all time.
He's he's definitely he's solid. He's like he's
18
good in attack, good in
tackles,
defense.
0 misses.
Yeah.
Doesn't miss.
Doesn't miss.
113 metres, 9 tackle breaks. Like, that's a knock. And, and he's just flying under the radar.
Yep.
I've been singing his praises for quite a while now, but honestly, I'd have to sit down and think, if Joey Manu is in centre playing well, you'd probably put him at 1 at the moment. Then you've got guys like Olam, maybe Remus Smith. But Morgan Harper is playing as good as any of those people right now, outside of a red-hot Joey Manu.
I'm sorry, 9 tackle breaks? Sure.
Crazy. One line break.
I mean, Tommy Turbo's got 15 tackle breaks and 3 line breaks, but
15 tackle.
no one's in his league.
Yeah.
Next
No.
best, Morgan Harper ripping and tearing.
Yep.
So
No errors, safe as houses.
18 tackles, just getting through the dirt.
And he, like Ruben Garrick and Saab, earlier in the year when, Harper wasn't playing, they weren't getting much good ball. But when you talk about quality nut on chest, Harper's been delivering and delivering well.
Yep.
Because it's Harper on Saab's side, correct?
Correct.
And it's Parker on the other side.
Yep.
And Saab has gone from a guy that a lot of people are like, oh, maybe not ready for first grade at the start of the year, to a superstar in our game. Now, obviously, he needs to fix up his errors, but the reason why he gets such good space to show his wares is a good quality centre in Harper.
Yep.
well, Morgan's an old school nutter as well, so
He is
you
an
can
old school
rely on
nutter.
him
Nutting
Yeah.
on
to
chest.
nut when
Nut when the
needs to be
nut is-
nutted.
yeah.
And he does look like a porn star, so that may play into the hands of having a strong ability to nut and nut true.
Yeah.
Nut on demand.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, I mean,
Nut
yeah.
under the bright
Yeah.
lights.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when exactly.
Now, the Sharkies. Thoughts on the Sharkies?
Well, I mean, fuck him, basically.
They're up against it.
Yeah. Will Chambers,
Yeah.
dog. Toby Rudolph, dog.
I love Tony Rudolph.
Look,
I
I'm
love
just talking
Toby
in the context of last night. Dog.
You know what? Like, I know it was silly. I know it was a brain explosion.
Boo.
But I kind of want that out of my enforcer.
If my enforcer headbutted a winger, I'd be going, you're a fucking idiot. Like, obviously
yes,
the game wasn't on the line, but like...
Yeah, yes.
If it was.
Stupid decision. And don't get me wrong. I love me some Ruben the Schnack Garrick.
He's got a fucking modelling career to worry about as
Yeah,
well.
I get all that.
And Honey's
Granted.
to bed, for God's sake.
Look, you guys know I love a bit of honey. We've been through that.
We have been
We
to
spent
this.
half an hour on it.
But I want my grub having brain explosions. You know what I mean?
Toby doesn't seem like a grubby
Well,
player.
not grub, but he is the get down and dirty guy in that side.
Yeah.
He's the down and dirty.
Yeah, I get
You know what I
what
mean?
you mean. Yeah,
I
you
want-
want your enforcer to be a bit of a cunt.
Yeah, like Hargreaves. Hargreaves has brain explosions, but
Yes.
that's why we love Hargreaves.
Yeah.
And that's why the Roosters have stuck solid, because they've got a guy that's willing to, if it's not going his way, break
Headbutt.
the rules and headbutt people.
Headbutt a bloke.
So again, I know it was silly. I know it's not the smart play, but at the same time, I want my down and dirty player
To get down and
hurting
dirty.
so much that he gets down and dirty.
Yeah.
Maybe too dirty,
But-
and maybe
At least he's down.
he's down all right.
He's down to get dirty.
He's down to get
Will
dirty.
Chambers, look, like I respect what Will's done in the game. Obviously, he's like a legend. He's like, I don't know about a legend, but he's Origin, Storm, Premierships, et
One of
al,
the best
all that
centers
shit.
of this generation.
But and I'm sure he's a good bloke. But as a rugby league player, he seems like a bit of a cunt.
On the field, off the field, he's a fucking
That's what I
legend.
mean. That's what I mean. On
Look,
the field.
last night was a bit like, bruh.
You're getting pumped, dude. What are you doing?
Yeah, but again, that's. I think that's also an evidence of like you can't have the good without the bad.
Correct.
So many years.
No, that's true.
That was what made him great. Now, was I sitting there going?
It was awkward to see.
Yeah,
It was kind of like, oh, dude, what are you doing?
But in saying that, I accept Will in the good and the bad.
Yes, you have to.
You can't take
got
me.
to.
If you're not going to love me at my worst, then you don't deserve me at my best. And I think that's Will Chambers.
Yep.
If you're not going to love him at his worst, you don't deserve him at his best.
Well said. Did you come up with that?
No, actually, I didn't.
Really?
Um,
That's shocking.
I thought it
I've
was
never heard
yours.
that before.
to be honest,
I've never heard
it's an Instagram thought quote.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a thought quote.
Yeah, it's a thought quote.
Thought quote of the day. Surely
Yeah, it's a
that's an
thought quote of the
Instagram
day.
page.
If that isn't, it's a fucking genius
We'll
idea.
get the handle. Thought quote of the day.
Yeah, well, it's actually used regularly to excuse shitty behaviour.
Correct. Like Will's.
You know, because yeah, and it was shitty behaviour. But yeah, look, I think it's part of the magic, really, to be honest. Part of the Will Chambers magic. Now,
Call it what you will.
Yeah.
Now on to Doggies versus Titans. I know it's against the Doggies. I think the Titans are looking pretty good.
Well, they're in the 8 now, or they were in the 8?
I think they're in the
were in
8
the
now.
8 after that. 7th.
7th. Wow.
Okay, can we just, like, wins and losses, right? Like, where is the Titans here? So they've won.
Look at the difference. The
8
top
and
Won
lost 11.
8, lost 11.
The top 6
That's
is like
disgraceful.
the top 6 is like legit. Like that's legit. Look at
Yeah.
their point differential, and then it just goes wild after
It's
that.
just poison from 6
8
down.
and 11 gets you 7th.
Crazy.
When has that ever happened?
And a minus 26 points differential.
When has that
is
ever happened?
Crazy. So what are they
Mate,
on?
look at
26
the
on
okay. Look at the
18.
top 8. 8 and 11, 8 and 11, 8 and 11, 8 and 11, 8 and 11. There are what? 1, 2, 3, 5 teams on the same
Yep.
amount of rugby league points.
Like it's almost like two comps.
holy shit!
Yeah, the haves and have-nots.
It's like top 6 is the normal footy, and then 7 to 10 is the reserve grade grand final for 8th spot.
Dude, they should have a grand final for like the losers.
Looking at that, who do you think most likely to get 7th and 8th out of those 5 teams?
Fuck, you just don't know. Like Titans are looking good one week, and then the next week you're like, "What the fuck's going on?" The
that's like
Knights,
all those
the
teams
Knights
you would-
actually have a crazy run home. So the Knights' run home is, I'll get it up properly here, but it's Brisbane, Cronulla, Canterbury,
Oh, okay.
and then they play. I'll get it up.
Do we play them again? I don't think we do.
No, we don't.
Hey Matt, do you want to? Got it. What is it?
They play Broncos, Titans, Bulldogs, Sharks, and Broncos again.
So that's why I think the Knights could make a
do
real
it.
push.
Okay, Knights in.
And then can you get Eels run home?
Does
Eels,
Sticky's Raiders make it? That would be
that would be crazy.
wild.
That
But they
would
had
be
like a
wild.
comeback. They started playing well again. Everyone's like, oh, the Raiders are back. And then they lost on the weekend of the night.
Oh, hang on. They've
Exactly.
got Melbourne and Manly in there.
Eels run home is a fucking literally the finals. Listen to this.
Rabbitohs, Seagulls, Cowboys, Storm, Panthers.
So good.
It's literally like those 4 teams. That could be your finals run. They're
Yeah.
going to have to do it twice.
That's so good.
So if the Eels are to go deep into the finals, which is a grand final, as we sorted that last week.
I think you'll find that Parramatta finish 6th.
Para playing Roosters this weekend, is it?
Para playing Rabbitohs this week.
Oh,
Rabbitohs.
Rabbitohs. So they'll lose.
Then Manly next week. They'll lose that.
So, but Manly will win this week, so we'll leapfrog them.
What's
So
crazy?
they could already be. They could be at 6 at the end of the week.
Manly might actually be in the top 4. That's what's fucking insane.
Yeah.
Manly are only 2 points behind Para.
That's
Yeah.
what I mean. Oh, what's Para's for and against? I'm trying to see it in
Plus 189
484.
and Manly is plus
Gaz is
169.
Okay, so if they lose and we win this weekend,
Could
they
you
could be
imagine, like all bias aside, even though it's unwavering, could you imagine if you guys make the top 4 with how fucking terrible your start was?
six. We predicted it at the
It would be
start.
one of the greatest turnarounds ever.
Yeah.
Like,
But how about winning the comp from that position?
Yeah,
that's what
that's
we're
more
talking
what we're
about. We don't
talking
give a
about.
fuck about top
because
4.
what's crazy as well is like a lot of people talk about, oh, Hayne took this team that, you know, was struggling or whatever to grand final. But I'm pretty sure, I could be totally wrong. I could be wrong, but I don't think they ever had, well, they didn't. Manly's start to the season was the worst aside from 2002 Cowboys. The first 4 games, the worst. So not only did Tommy take a side that was struggling, he took one of the worst starts ever to one of the best ends.
The best end if you win the comp.
Was that Jared Haynes side though? Were they nowhere and then they won like 8
They were
games
like
in a row to
they
get
were,
8th?
They were coming
think-
13th. I think.
Yeah, they were hovering around like but they weren't the worst start in the fucking
So
history.
they were ranked 14th
you go.
in round 14.
That's incredible.
That is incredible.
But again, it's still not the worst
It's
start
still
to a
not
season in
last
history.
after 4 rounds.
But also they snuck into 8th, whereas Manly going to come in the top 4.
Yeah.
And our for and against turnaround, we've probably fucking like we were negative 150 or something ridiculous.
It was
Weren't we?
the first 4 games
Oh,
were
mate.
was officially the worst start outside of 2002 for a club in NRL history. Like the first, that's how bad it was. And like when you look at it now, so okay, what's the points? 19 played. Sorry, 19, 6. So even this year, let's say the Cowboys could even, if they just like go on a run, they could sneak into the 8.
Such beaters below 6, isn't it? It's just beta central.
It's going to be 2 wins behind already. Be tough.
Could the
No,
Broncos
but I'm
technically
comparing it
make
to
it?
the Eels run. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
if
right.
they, that's
Could the Broncos technically make it as well? You're on 19.
No, that's played.
Oh,
They're
sorry,
on 5
played.
wins.
No,
They're
oh,
3 wins
5. Where are
behind.
their
With how many
points?
rounds? How many
We've got
rounds?
5
left?
more games.
Nah, can't be done.
No.
We would have to win every and then something go our way. Anyway, so yeah, the Titans, they're looking like what I'm liking is the defense. It looks much better. Again, it was against the Doggies that struggle, but you can only play what's in front of you. So Doggies, you know, we go through it every week. I'm not sure what's wrong. Anyway, we'll quickly do a preview. Knights v Broncos, match of the round. What do you guys think? I think Mitchell Pearce returns. Kalen Ponga has
Captain.
been named captain,
In
And
place
Jaden
of
Brayley has been rested.
being rested. I bet he got knocked out pretty badly, I think, last game.
That's exactly why we were trying to work that out before.
But it is interesting that, you know, like Pearce comes back. I know he had the captaincy stripped. I haven't seen that. But it shows you that, you know, maybe Kalen is around for the long haul,
who
which is
was
good for the
captain? Who's he filling in for, Kalen?
Knights. Braylon and Saifidi were
Is
captain.
Brayley captain?
Yeah.
Fuck,
Brayley
where have
was-
I been?
They
Good
were
on you, Jaden.
co-captain. Saifidi and Brayley were co-captain. Daniel Saifidi and Brayley, I'm pretty sure.
So now they're co-cap Ponga. and
Now I'm assuming,
Saifidi.
unless Saifidi's injured, I'm assuming they're co-captain. They're both playing, so he's just been named out-and-out captain. So maybe maybe they just hadn't publicised it, but maybe Brayley had become the actual out-and-out captain.
I think they're finally starting Watson, Connor.
Yeah, Hot Boy Connor.
Hot boy.
What about
When
Hot
in
Boy
doubt, go
Anari?
hot.
Anari scoring a treble.
I know. I may have him in my fucking betting plans for this round off the back of that.
What
Which is
about
the worst way to bet, but
big, thick boy Bradman Best?
yeah.
Big
He's-
thick.
he is-
Is anyone thicker?
I don't think so.
No.
He is the thickest boy.
His head looks like an Easter Island statue.
He is thick boy of all thick boys. We're going to do
Yeah,
that.
you're right. Saifidi and Brayley were confirmed as co-captains at the season launch, so I'm not
So maybe
too sure what's happening.
internally they've gone, okay, Brayley, you're the captain. Maybe because Saifidi went away to Origin or something, and now Ponga is captain. Because Saifidi's playing, isn't he? Yeah,
if you're
then-
in a team and I mean, I don't know if this is the case, but I'm just run with me here. You're in a team, you're the captain, and then your best player, he's obviously, he's coming out of contract, and it's like the club just throws the captaincy at him as one of the ways they are trying to get him to stay. If you're the captain already, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't think that's happened in this scenario.
Right. I thought they were talking about captaincy for Kalen to try and keep him.
I don't think that would keep him. I honestly, maybe.
I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying, but if that's like, and again, it's nothing on Kalen. I'm saying it's more like if this is like a tactic the club's using, it's like, well, you just picked me as the fucking captain at the start of the year, and now you're like, oi, Kalen, we'll give you the captaincy if you fucking stay, and we'll give you shitloads of money.
I reckon it's the club going, if we give you this extra responsibility, you may rise to the occasion. You can no longer be like, I'm just one of the fullback. I can chill this position. Like you are now responsible, so you better fucking every game
lift.
You need to lift because you're our captain now. And so, like, you look at Ben Hunt, he's gone to a new level ever since he got captain.
Yep.
So I think it's more a tactic from the coach, knowing that their results revolve around Kalen turning up. If Kalen doesn't turn up, they don't win the game. So I think it's more along those lines. But who have you got? The Knights v the Broncos.
Knights 13 plus.
Knights. I think I just went Knights head to head, but I've thrown in a couple of anytime tries in there. I think I've got Jacob Saifidi. I've got Anari, our boy.
Hot boy.
And Kalen. And there might be one more because I'm just looking for... Corey Oates. That's it.
Okay. I like the Broncos. They're looking much better than they did last year. So I'm going to Broncos 1-12.
Who's Danny Levi? I got a route to get a photo. It's happening again.
Honestly.
It's
seriously.
happening again.
And Xavier Williams.
You've got 3 fucking players without
TC
photos.
Rabadi.
TC Rabadi's
Your place is...
sick name.
The Broncos are a
too.
fucking basket case. With the greatest respect.
No, we're battlers now. So we're going to battle our way to the top. But yeah, I'm going, how crazy Knights have got Clemmer coming off the bench now. I'm going Broncos 1-12. On to the next game, Raiders versus the Dragons.
Again, dirty merger clubs here. Raiders, though, I would say, Eddie, it's fair that they have at least embodied some of the essence of a dirty merger club this year in their performances.
They have. They've been rocks and diamonts.
Impossible
Well, they haven't really been diamonds,
No.
but they've been better than rock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're a class above rock.
They've been rock or a class above rock.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Not
I don't know. Honestly,
A gem.
with this game, you know what I'd do? I'd flip a coin. Honestly, flip a coin.
Yeah.
You're 50% chance of getting it right. And that's what you see here, I think. I mean, I just don't find any of them to be...
Okay, here we go. So, Bloke side, Raiders,
Yep.
White Dragons.
Yep.
Raiders.
Raiders will win.
Raiders
Yeah,
will
I'm
win.
going Raiders. I think
Raiders will win.
I reckon they put behind them what happened last week, and they get the job
I
done.
like
this
Jack
week.
Bird at fullback. Just as a bit of a, how you going? Like, why the fuck not?
Wow, I didn't even see that. Wow, okay. That's interesting. But yeah, get his hands on the ball. He doesn't have to do all the tackling as a forward.
Yeah.
Eels versus Rabbitohs.
Rabbitohs.
Rabbitohs and Rabbitohs well.
Yeah,
Rabbitohs 13 plus.
The Eels spirit now well and truly broken. Obviously, Eddie and I are the only people who saw the writing on the wall in round 1, but their spirit's broken. And after getting worked into the ground by the Roosters, who have got $60 million worth of talent out, like, what are you fucking doing?
So do you know this week the Roosters play with 62% of their cap not playing?
62%.
Yes.
Crazy.
They, mate, under Trent gets them up and about.
No, he gets them up and about.
Fucking firing,
And
mate.
when you do, and like I've said it myself just because I'm a salty asshole, but like I'm always like, when we compare like Trent Robinson as coach, it's like, well, yeah, it's easy to fucking coach a team that's that good, but it's like now he's actually being forced to coach.
No. He can fucking
Without
coach.
players.
Fuck it. And I think this cements how good he fucking is. They should be spluttering along the bottom of the table. They are like fighting out at 5th and... You know what I mean? Like they're hanging
They
around
can make
there.
the top 4.
Mate, they're in
Like,
the top 4.
It's
They're in the
crazy.
top 4 currently.
No, they're not. Eels are ahead of them.
Oh, they're 5th.
Yeah,
right. No,
they're
yeah,
fifth.
sorry, you're right.
But the Eels are going to lose, so they'll be in the top 4.
But then if
They're
the Eagles win-
thereabouts. What are they on the same? They're on the same win-losses as the Eels.
So, but
Who are
if you
fourth?
if yous win, you'll be on equal points but better points differential. So you actually jump. If Eels lose, you'll come fourth.
Yeah,
I
we'll
think.
be we will. If the Eels lose, oh no, because they've got a better. Well, it depends by how much they lose by. Because we've got it.
Well, if
got
they
a
lose
slightly
and
better,
we win and win well.
they've got a slightly better for and against.
It's only 20 the difference.
20 points.
Yeah,
So
they lose by 10.
you
we
could
win by
genuinely
10.
go top 4, which would be fucking crazy.
Dude, we'd be fucking... I'll be calling you at 3 in the morning. Just saying, like, they will have won hours before, but I'll just call you at 3 and be like, fuck you, Dan.
I think the Rabbitohs are in a mood now. They're in a big mood. And I think they make a statement this weekend.
You reckon?
I think this is a statement game.
Well, statement teams make statement games.
And you don't... look...
Make statements.
In statement games. Statement teams make statements in statement games. That's what I think you'll see this weekend. I think they obliterate the Eels.
Whoa.
And I think the Eels pack it up and go home. I think they stop playing for the rest of the year.
Season early.
Yeah, I think so.
Cam Murray, Benji Marshall, and Junior Totola all back.
All back? That's big. Wow, that's big.
How do you see it?
I think...
You'd be on the Eels for sure.
No, I think Rabbitohs are in a real big fucking mood. They are looking swagger, confident, and fuck, they can put some points on. Mm-hmm. They just switch it and it happens. So, again, a lot of people wrote them off because they lost those 50-point games. I think in today's game, 50 points is not 50 points.
No.
You know? And I think that they are truly a dark horse because they're Latrell is such a beast. Cody Walker has 27 try assists. In his last 8 games, 19 try assists. He is fucking killing it. He will get, most likely, if he continues on this trajectory, he may hit 40 try assists for the rest of the year. Like, he may hit 40 try. Well, I think Tim Smith's like 41 or something.
Tim Smith?
Yeah, 2005
Shout out
or some
to Tim
shit.
Smith.
So, yeah, I think the Rabbitohs are hitting their straps at the right time. Now, again, you don't know with them. They could turn around. But anyway, Warriors versus Sharks.
Warriors. Adam Fanua back.
Warriors
Chanel
because
back.
I'll tell you why. Because the first person I saw was Reese. When in doubt, go hot.
Yeah.
It seems to have worked to win in there. Got hot.
It definitely works.
I'm going to go Sharks for a bounce back game. Roosters v Penrith. I actually think it's going to be a great clash.
Same.
Last time they played, the first half was a great clash until someone got sent off for someone slipping into them. I think this is a huge game for the Penrith Panthers. They've got to find something. I know they've got a lot of players out. I get that. But at the same time, they've still got...
And they've got fucking Tavita in there.
They've got Tavita Pangai Jr. They've got the current New South Wales 6 that tore us an arsehole. They've got Matt Burton, who is the next big thing. They've got Liam Martin, current New South Wales player. They've got Isaiah Yobak, current New South Wales player. Viliami Kikau. Like, I don't subscribe to... Don't get me wrong. It does hurt them to lose those players. But I also don't think that that excuses them losing to Tigers, Sharks, nearly losing to Broncos in the Storm like that. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I do think they have been in a bit of a lull. Now, granted, Appy also returns. They've been up for so long. You know, they have been up for so long. This actually may work in their favour. You know, have a little dip and then go for a run in the finals. But this is a big game for them because you don't. The thing is even if you get all your players back, but you've lost the last 4 or 5 games, there's going to be confidence issues then.
Definitely. Second guessing your decision.
Yeah, so that it's very important that they get a good. If they get a good solid win, you can essentially wipe the last few weeks away, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But if they struggle again, then it's like, ooh, shit, something's going on here. So I am going to go. Fuck, Victor Radley's back.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that.
I like the Roosters.
I'm like, and the Roosters are value. They're paying $3.
I can't ignore that value.
You can't go past value like that after the Panthers just got spanked by the Storm.
The only problem is the Storm spanked the Roosters as well.
I know, they spank everyone. They're fucking like disciplinarians, but value's value.
Value is value. Oh, they just look clunky without.
Yeah, they don't look the same.
They're not
even
the
close.
same team without him.
I'm going Roosters 1-12.
There you go.
There we go, baby.
Roosters 1-12.
I've gone Roosters head to head. They might blow them out, which will make the season. Imagine if the Panthers and the Parramatta Eels get blown out this weekend.
I'd love it.
That would be wild. Sea Eagles versus the Storm.
And the Storm get blown out as well.
Yeah, well, they're going to. Manly's value in this game too. Manly's going to win this and win it well.
Manly is value in this game because when you got big dick T1 flopping about at the back, you never know what will happen.
Flopping around like a fish that's just been brought up from the fucking depths of the ocean.
Honestly, from the depths of the ocean. I'm still going Storm to win though. 1-12.
Manly 13+.
Manly 13+. There'll be some try scorers in there.
Could you imagine if they do win 13+?
They will win.
No, mate. If you'd been on Manly 13+ all year, like Tom and I have, you would have made a fortune.
Yep.
This is another game where we look at the fucking $8 or whatever it is and go, thanks for coming.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Doggies, Tigers.
Now, this game
I like the
is-
Dogs.
That's value, 275. I honestly think that's value.
You know what, though? But it's not enough value for me to bet on the Dogs. Again, you're up against the Dirty Merger Club and the Tigers, so it's a coin flip, but it's also one where you just go like, have it on in the background or don't watch
No,
it.
I think the Tigers, they'll do what they do. They had such a poor outing last week. They'll come out, play really well. Yes, we're back. I think the Tigers are going to play
I
really
think
well
the
this
Tigers
weekend.
will win.
But I do still believe that, like, you know, Bulldogs are value because you just don't know with the Tigers. You just don't know.
No, you don't. The Bulldogs, the reason I don't find the Bulldogs value is because even though you don't know what the Tigers are going to do, you know the Bulldogs don't do anything.
They have the
and
best
can't.
completion rate in the comp. Fuck.
The Dogs.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean it. Completion rate means
completion rate-
nothing.
I know, but that's like, you know, they do everything right.
Exactly.
You know?
They just
Well,
like...
Trent's probably spent a lot of time focusing on completion rate and is probably, you know, I think fair to say, fairly upset it's not working.
Yeah.
You'd be like, mate, I was promised completion rates equaled points.
No, well, you should have been watching About Even, Trent. Sorry, man.
Titans v the Cowboys.
Titans. Definitely.
Yep. Cowboys suck. I
was a
have
period-
loved to see... I've liked seeing old mate Granville at fullback, though. That's been funny.
Hasn't that been? You would never have expected that to start
Not
of the
at
year.
all. I saw someone say, and I don't know who it was, but it's like, that's not a fullback's haircut, though, Jake. So he's going to have to get something a little faster.
That is not a fullback haircut.
That's a hooker's haircut.
Yeah, in saying that, it is similar-ish to Nico Hines.
Nah, his is long, beachy,
no.
Heath Ledger.
Yeah,
Yeah, but,
hot boy, 10
that's
things
how
I
his
hate
hair
about you.
grows, though, Grant. But it is just
Nah,
grown
well,
out.
Yeah,
though.
he looks like
that's-
Grug.
He looks like Grug,
Okay.
which
You know
is a
what Grug
great
is? Put that up,
I don't know
Matty.
who that is.
Grug, children's fucking book.
Grug, the children's book.
No, I don't
you
know.
You never read Grug.
No.
Jesus Christ. Is that a
You
Queensland
surprised
thing,
me,
or is
mate.
that a-
Yeah, well, you don't read up there, Queenslanders.
It's pictures,
pictures, though.
largely.
I
there are
honestly
words.
don't.
There are words. That's probably where it threw you off.
Oh, fuck, here we go.
You're usually out the back playing with dirt or something.
Yeah, like a true good Aussie
Running
bloke.
fast and eating dirt.
Yeah.
Anyway, Granville, not a fullback's haircut. That's what I'm saying.
Titans versus Cowboys. So you're going
Yeah,
Titans 13
Titans,
plus?
sure.
13 plus.
13 plus.
I'm going Titans 1 to 12. That is it for the week. I would say I just want to take everything back around the jumpers. They have been sold out, so don't buy the jumper. Fuck. We ordered a lot, guys, so thank you so much. Thank you so much. I can't even put it into words. Make sure to follow Hello Sport on Instagram. Subscribe on Hello Sport on any good podcasting app. Also, leave a comment with your bet on About Even.
Yes, on the About Even, well, on the Hello Sport YouTube page where About Even is as well. Roy Dixon or whatever his name is, he actually won. So
What was his bet?
It was the
Sharks would score
to
more points.
score more points than the Panthers did, and we took that bet. And
That's a ballsy play by you. Like, I give
it was
fair
ballsy,
play.
but it could have happened, right?
Yeah.
And Manly could have just dusted it.
It's the kind of bet you would do if it's not your beer.
Sort of bet you do when you're not paying for it.
We should start fucking being Storm to win. We'll take you on.
It's good for brand awareness.
Yeah.
Nah, that's good though. So what's his name? Sorry.
Look, I'm just going to call him Roy Dixon.
Roy Dixon, congratulations. You have won a case of beer. It will be sent out to you as soon as possible. Make sure, guys, go to
Ryan
About Even.
Dixon.
Ryan Dixon. So, and About Even, when does that drop each week?
That drops on a Wednesday at around midday-ish.
Yeah. And Hello Sport, what time does that drop?
Hello Sport is a Monday afternoon, and then we are doing a second episode every week now because why the fuck not? The punters and dribblers have called for it.
They have.
So that's either going to be on a Thursday, probably we're going to record that.
So
but
expect Hello Sport podcast on a Monday and a Wednesday afternoon, essentially, and then a
Hello
Thursday.
Sport Monday, About Even Wednesday,
Yep.
and then another Hello Sport Thursday.
Okay, thank you so much for listening, guys, and as usual, I'll go and fuck myself.